Well, you're alive.
That's good to hear. 40 most disturbing realizations. According to Reddit, number 40. So many misunderstandings and innocent mistakes have far-reaching consequences. Pretty much an unavoidable fact of existence, you know what I mean? Doesn't just extend to other people, but, the other things that are inadvertently affected by our very existence.
These are going to be short, aren't they?
Probably, but that's fine too. A response reads, "A couple of months ago, I asked my brother why he never sang aloud to our old favorite songs with me anymore. Turns out 10 years ago, I jokingly told him that he sucked at singing, and he never sang around people since.
Oh my god.
I've been fucked up over that for a while. Well, some people even knowing how much of a impact they have in people's lives, they just go for gold as far as trying to fuck them over. You know what I'm talking about?
It just reminds me what you told me about you not drawing anymore.
It was because a woman took my shit. Ain't that something? That woman took my shit. Pretty scary stuff.
You still have a graphics tablet, so in theory you could pick it up whenever you want.
No, but imagine as a child, you start drawing and you get together a little folder, For all intents and purposes, that's essentially your little portfolio. Do you know what I mean? And, when you lose that, it's kind of like you have to start all over. And at the time, especially when I was younger, it really just reached a point where I was just like, I'd rather just pick up another thing. And music is what I picked up. And I didn't look back. And I wouldn't change that for the world, Stripes. Would you?
Well, if all those circumstances you had to go through just ended up with me beating you, then no, I wouldn't have.
Adorable. That's kind of like number 40, where you're inadvertently having a negative impact on a lot of the things that happen in the world around you. But maybe some of the things in people's lives have to go a specific way for them to, come across the people they come across, end up doing the things that they do. And that's the bottom line. So that's number 40. Number 39. People can be absolutely evil, heartless beings. Once you see firsthand the terrible, violent, and gruesome things one person can do to another person, it opens your eyes. I will always be suspicious of every person I meet now. Law enforcement is one of those jobs that truly changes how you see the world. You don't have to be in law enforcement to come to this realization, as I made apparent with number 40. Like I said, so many misunderstandings and innocent mistakes have far-reaching consequences. And the brother told a story about how when he was younger, he inadvertently said something cruel, because kids can be cruel, that had an impact on how this guy acted for years reaching into the future. Some people even know the kind of negative impact that they can have, and that's what they're going for. They're hoping to inflict maximum damage as far as having a negative impact in other people's lives. But hey, man, whatever it takes to make them feel alive. Number 38. Or what, maybe I should read responses to this, because I think the list would be pretty short otherwise.
I would agree. I used to hate Dan, but now I still hate him. I just think his face is apish.
You hate who?
Whoever the 10th Doctor was. I think his name is Dan or something.
The 10th Doctor on Doctor Who's name was not Dan, it was David Tennant. Why do you hate his face?
I don't know. There's something smarmy about him.
Well, he's a Brit. What do you want? The initial response to number 39 is the problem you face, like the guy's face you hate, is your job skews the sample of the human race you interact with. All you see is the shitty end of the bell curve. Humans may be worse than most people realize, but are as a whole better than what you see on most days. Well, yeah, I would imagine people as a whole are better than what this guy sees, but it doesn't change that the human capacity for cruelty is still through the roof. You know what I mean? And the rude thing is, like, you got to look at it like this. When you're having a baby, you're typically rolling a dice. You could have a girl, you could have a boy. Now, I'm not saying women are inherently evil. I'm saying that girls, by design, genetically, are more emotional than men. You know, it's just a hormonal thing. It's just a genetic thing. And when emotions get involved, they play havoc on who we are and how we act and what we do as people. Inherently, some people may not be outrageously negative or want to use other people in an advantageous way, you know, that has them playing the doormat role where they're just being cruel because they're trying to get by. But you know, when you ice that cake with, let's say drugs, let's say alcohol, where, you know, you're just acting based on impulses, based on urges, as opposed to thinking things through and thinking about other people, as far as how they'll feel or, you know, the impact of your actions. It's just something that happens. And worst off, upbringing has a big thing to do with it these days, because not just these days, but, you know, going far back, because when you're a child, it's monkey see, monkey do hardcore. The kid learns inadvertently, because he doesn't know how to communicate, so he just cries, you know, that when they reach an age and they notice that, okay, when I cry, I can elicit a certain response from not just my parents, but most people in general. And they start trying to use that to their advantage. You have to reach a point when you're raising a child where you go, stop crying, fuckwit, because it's not worth crying to you right now. You're just doing it to get a certain response. And in that same way that a child genetically, inherently, like, impulsively will just test the boundaries of what he's capable of, people do that with things that are wrong, like with crime. They do what they believe they can get away with. And the bottom line is, if we had like a purge type situation in real life, people would go fucking nuts, because a lot of people only don't do things because they're not allowed to, or they can't get away with it. But if they could get away with it, they wouldn't not do it because they have ethical or moral hangups. They would not do it because they wouldn't want to get in trouble. So, and again, we always fall back to this one Black Mirror episode, which you haven't seen, so I can't talk about it. But,
well, then why don't you just watch it with me?
Okay. We can do that. Number 38. For me, personally, it was the realization of how wrong I can be about people's character. I was pulling my hair out for a month after my ex cheated on me because I couldn't reconcile that I believed what I believed about her and what she had done. It just didn't match up. The person I fell in love with, or more accurately, my visualization of that person, wouldn't cheat. That's impossible. Coming to terms with that fact, coming to terms with the fact that I was fundamentally wrong about what I believed her to be was immensely uncomfortable. Obligatory fuck Sarah. Well, I guess somebody named Sarah hurt this person. It's very easy to romanticize the image of anyone in your head, you know. I would imagine a lot of women do this with people all the time, which is why there was such a, I mean, it still happens where you see like TV shows where like some guy's just beating the shit out of some lady, and she's like, I love him. He do it 'cause he loved me. I know he loved me. I got my bruises. You see my bruises. I hit that doorknob. Sorry, I don't know why I hit the doorknob was turning into a song. I hit that doorknob on the way down. So what? Sorry. People aren't hitting doorknobs, you know? Jeez. Oh my god. Well, wait, I should read comments to this, of course. The initial comment to this, of course, just says fuck Sarah, simply. So that's fantastic. I'm wondering if, forgive me, I just want to check and make sure that the OBS is capturing the window properly. I don't know, I feel like I could make this a little bit bigger for everybody. Not that it matters in a big way, but I want everybody to be able to see.
It looks just fine to me.
That's too big. Let's just make it about right there. Okay. Yeah, I would imagine that's about as good as it's going to get. So, let's proceed upward. Number 37. I've ruined my future. That's a pretty
Oh.
disturbing realization to come to. Wow. You know. The initial response, of course, reads, "It's never too late to try and turn the train around. Trust me. Been turning for 5 years now." You know what I mean? Somebody said, "That's a long-ass turn." And somebody said, bruh, in the end, it's all I got. As long as I'm on the upward trend and self-improving, I'm going nowhere but up. And again, this is not a popular, it's a healthy outlook. Even if other people are looking at you and going, "Hey, you've been turning a long time. You've been trying a long time." Trying is better than nothing. Trying is better than going in the wrong direction. Turning is better than going in the wrong direction, to fit this analogy. And yeah, sometimes you really can't do anything about your past. All you can do are change things about your present in a last ditch often effort to change your future. Number 36. The amount of wealth inequity in this world. Well, it's kind of sad. You know, I wouldn't call it disturbing though. More importantly, how the rich can just give an insignificant amount of money to the poor and completely change poor people's lives. And still not many do it. Yeah, it's true. I visited a poor rural government school in India. Most kids there are from extremely poor backgrounds. The government gives free lunch to the kids in the school, and this is an incentive for these kids to stay in school. When I went, I realized that these kids did not have plates because the government did not pay for that and expected people to bring their own. Almost half of the kids could not do that, so they would wait for the other half to finish eating and then use their plates. This broke my heart. So I offered to buy every kid in the school plates for lunch. It cost me $100 to buy plates for 200 kids. Next afternoon, I could see that all of the kids suddenly felt like they had the biggest luxury in the world. Have their own plates for food. Wow. Each kid could not stop smiling and treated their plates like the most valuable possession they had. I will never forget that. I was thinking to myself, these kids did not ask to be born to a poor family in a third world country. Sometimes the world is just not fair. I wish rich people realize how lucky they were and would do more to reduce the suffering of others. Not as lucky as them. Nah, nigga, we gotta keep buying these dogs houses. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna buy a mansion for a dog. That's what's up. How is Patches gonna get along otherwise?
His name is Patch, not Patch.
I'm not talking about Patch, the non-binary driver's license requesting reflect my Tumblr lifestyle fucking loser. Ugh, what a weirdo. A response to this reads... Let's crack that on open. Man, I'm looking at the red word say loading. It probably didn't expect anybody to come in this thread. The top response reads, "This goes for everyone though. Most people in the first world have luxuries well beyond what, like you said, poor kids in India could imagine. But a lot of people live in their own bubble." Yeah, it's just the way of the world, you know? A lot of people aren't helping us, so, you know, we don't think to help a lot of other people. But again, some of the people at the very tip top never think to help other people, and that's what keeps the rich getting richer and keeps the poor poorer. A lot of poor people or middle class people associate themselves with these types of, you know, bleeding heart, we should give shits about people type thing. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that this is the type of shit that gets laughed out of like board meetings with CEOs that, you know, sitting in a jacuzzi with other CEOs thinking about, you know, how they can make more money because even though they've made enough for generations, it still isn't enough, you know? They're thinking about cutting every expense at all times.
I think you're thinking about banquets for the elite. But yeah, you're right. They're on top for a reason because they're walking over other people. And specifically people that don't really have an upway route for themselves to make.
Well, number 35. I could mention something like plenty of people across the planet are being mutilated and killed for no good reason, while I'm sitting at my desk mowing on Oreos. But you know, I'm not familiar with that term either. I'm not gonna, you know, extend this guy the attention that he's craving writing that. So, but that seems to be a typical, answer. So instead, as a personal life realization, the chick I spent 11 years trying to appease, being the absolute best friend she's ever had, the bigger brother she never had, and investing my blood, sweat, and tears into making sure she was living comfortably and happily, will never love me the way I love her. Just thinking about that still does a number on my head. You made that choice, homie. You made that choice. People aren't under any obligations to love you, no matter how much suffering you experience for this false sense of needing to be someone's guardian. It doesn't matter if the person was your only source of happiness. Love is a two-person job, a deal, not an obligation, not something that's one-sided. Give and take. You can give a lot and take almost nothing, but don't expect any sort of reward to come out of it simply because of that. Wish I'd known that from the beginning. Well, I mean, that's just some realization you should have come to probably in middle and high school, my nigga. You know what I mean? Things need to be two-sided. This isn't like a you feeling one way at a person type deal. It's a conversation. It's a back and forth. There needs to be compromises and sacrifices on both sides if things are to work when shit gets rocky and crazy. And the bottom line is, without reciprocation or some manner of mutuality, I mean, this was never meant to do anything but wobble around on the toothpicks it was established on. A response to this says, people aren't under any obligation to love you. Somebody said this fucks with me a lot. And it should. You know what I mean? It should. I always say that, just because someone is blood doesn't mean they can't be an asshole. You know what I mean? You shouldn't just assume that because somebody is family that they're not capable of being a bad fucking person. A lot of people don't seem to remember that we should try to love most people and just hate the shit that they do. Yes, some people are beyond help in the way that, they're almost a danger to themselves. So, of course, they're a danger to everybody else. But in the same way that you would give like a family member a free pass, you should be trying to, I don't know, in the same way that when we throw a motherfucker in jail, we should be interested in rehabilitating that asshole instead of, just straight up punishing him for his crime. Which, again, falls onto a Black Mirror episode that I'm thinking about, but I can't talk about it if you haven't seen it. Stripes.
Oh, I know. You could stream it on Rabbit.
We're not streaming a Black Mirror episode.
Man. What are you going to stream on Rabbit, then?
What are you always concerned about what I'm going to stream on Rabbit? Number 34.
Because you mentioned on your other streams that you want to, and then it never follows into anything.
Number 34. That our sphere of influence as the human race is actually very small, outside of our own perceptions of our existence. Our existence is completely meaningless to not only the universe, but the world itself. If we all died tomorrow, it wouldn't matter to anything else but us. It's true. But I feel like we know that. I feel like if we sit and think too hard about death, it'll scare the hell out of us, because it's like, we'll just blink out of existence, homie. There's no guarantee that anything comes after that. You are existing and you're cognizant and you're capable. You can think, therefore you are right now. You can pinch yourself and feel it. You can look around and your brain can, test the structural consistency of what's going on around you. You can name the things that you're looking at. You can touch things, feel it, squeeze it, feel its sensation on you. Interact with other people, but just like when you see people dying around you and how they are simply no more, that can happen to you. So I wonder if death's going to be higher up on this list. A response to this says, yeah, but the only thing I want my existence to matter to is the people I love. I don't care if it's some bulbous, mucusy, cyanide-based alien race living on Throganar B17 cares about my existence. They can go fuck themselves. Interesting. An interesting outlook. I hope they don't feel the same way about us, because if they can make it here, this is just, we're just cattle to those assholes. We're just ants to their boot. Isn't that great? What were you saying?
I think, I don't think most people are afraid of death. It's more of the thought of being forgotten.
I think a lot of people are afraid of death. I think it doesn't matter who remembers us, you know?
I'm not
Because,
particularly afraid of dying, honestly. It's more
yeah,
about
but you
just
can't
I'm
impose that
like,
belief
oh,
on other people in the assumption that you think that everybody else works like you. Stripes. Think realistically, Stripes. If we were to offer this question, which I offer it to the people in the stream chat right now.
like,
No.
what I'm
Let me offer it. I offer this question to the people in the stream chat right now. If you could make a choice to live 50 more years or have 50,000 people remember you for 50 years after you were dead, what would you choose? Death is frightening because you're gone. And without the certainty of knowing what comes after, is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Is there an afterlife where you can kind of just kick it and watch straight YouTube videos for the rest of time with how things go on down here? You know what I mean? Is it just you gone? Do you come back as something else? That scares many people. Do you know what I mean? Some people are fine with the idea, and they feel that, you know, they should cherish the time that they have now, and the fact that it is fleeting and it is limited makes it even more special or unique. But what are you saying?
I think some people can't separate the two things, where it's like the only thing I'm thinking about is how I'm going to be perceived afterwards, not if there's even a life. I've accepted that there's really no way of knowing.
If you're so invested in how you are being perceived after your death, do you seem to give shits about how you're perceived right now?
I suppose I don't.
Then why do you fucking care? And I don't mean it in a way where I'm coming down on you. What is the difference? What's the light switch that's flipped where as soon as you die, you care how people remember or view you? Do you seek fame or popularity in a manner that has people calling your name, not now when you can enjoy it, but after you're gone? It's like, you die, there's a funeral. Do you want shitload of flowers stacked on top of your, your coffin as a statement to other people? You know, so that when you die, people think that you were loved? Or would you prefer to receive even 3 of those bouquets while you're alive, and you can smell them and feel them, and feel at least the thought that somebody was thinking of you?
Well, I guess I didn't really have perspective on that.
I'm not trying to change how you think. I just wanted to know why you thought it. You're entitled to your belief, and there's nothing wrong with your belief. Sneezy, Mr. Sneezy, the Sneezy Breezy Mick Deluxe, number 33. That no matter how much I try, people just aren't afraid of losing me. I'm terrified about losing the people I have in my life, and I do everything I can to make sure it doesn't happen, but I feel like I'm readily disposable to them. Well, it's a fear that I'm sure most people harbor at some point, but hopefully in time, the people that they matter most to make it apparent to them that they're not so readily disposable. You know, but that's the bottom line. There's a lot of people, they all have a thing that a person can do that would make them get done with them. You know what I mean? Like, Stripes, how much heroin do you think you'd have to do in front of me before I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to be doing much with Stripes anymore. You know, not a lot. Not a lot. I try to help you. I care about you. You know what I mean? But if it got to a point where like heroin was all you wanted and you were addicted and you were refusing any efforts at help, and heroin is an addiction, son. So maybe you ended up putting yourself out there, sleeping with people, sucking some dicks for some heroin, shit like this, and like you refuse. This is the important part. You refuse the help that we tried to give you. And like maybe we even took it away from you against your will and tried to just get you off of the shit clean, and when you were done you went straight back to it. We couldn't, you know. It's not about being bothered, it's not about you being disposable, it's about, you know, this being our thing that we can't deal with. So like think about it in the context of an intimate relationship between two monogamous people. Typically a person cheating is what they're done with, you know what I mean? Like say, you know, you have a parent or a sibling and they make a physical attempt at your life with a weapon, you know, and they're coming at you in a violent way. You can't just, you know, harbor this kind of fucking activity, this kind of behavior out of them. You can't condone what they're doing. You have to flip a switch. You have to cut them off. Even if it hurts you to do it, you can't just treat everybody with this kind of unconditional type love. Because if you love yourself, you should want to put yourself around other people who care for you as much as you care for them. There should be an air of mutuality, like we said in the last one, where we can't make people love us. So
there are going to be people that matter to you that are going to make mistakes, and they might even hurt you. But I feel if there's the effort, if they put in the effort to like change themselves to better themselves for you, or even just for themselves, they're worth investing time into.
And that effort being translated is, of course, the important part. A lot of people show, things differently, We can look at a person's face and assume, oh, they're mad, oh, they're sad, but, people have resting bitch face sometimes. We can go by people's actions and think, oh, if I were to do what this person just did, it would reflect me being angry. But that doesn't mean that means they're angry. You know what I mean? Some people, you may hear a person raise their voice and start speaking, and you may think if I were ever that loud, I would be at a 10. On my scale from 1 to 10 of mad, but you don't know that for them, they're not a 2 on their scale. Do you know what I'm saying? Everybody's different. And this type of perspective is lost on particularly a lot of fucking old people. So a lot of people, specifically in our generation and lower, have come to the point where we're honestly very often silent, because it's much easier just to not be interpreted or have people infer anything at all from our actions or words than to spend time clearing up misunderstandings or misinterpretations. Because, it's not our fault that someone else took something wrong. And that's why we have such a pussy, society these days, where everybody's trying so hard to cater to people's, beliefs and systems of shit that they're into and what they want to be called and all kind of bullcrap like that. It's madness. It's madness. But I guess it's better than the alternative. But most things are better than the alternative until they're not, though. We're not getting anywhere on this list, and, I can't say that's a bad thing, because I was under the impression that this wasn't going to take long, because they're also short. That's why I've been reading responses. On we go to number 32. I am consciously self-sabotaging myself in almost every aspect of my life. A lot of people must feel that way. But we can't know how much worse things might have gone if we did something different. Do you know what I mean? There's no way to know that. So I think one of the worst things that a person can do is beat themselves up about something that didn't go the way they wanted it to, because you're wasting even more time.
Of course, if you're wallowing in self-pity and not actually making the effort to fix the issue you might have gotten yourself into, whether it be purposely or not, you're just making things worse for yourself.
Take it from a guy who's usually attacked about problems in IT, and this is probably true of any man, I would say, where a lot of the time, sometimes the women want to talk about the problem and how we reach the problem and how the problem has made them feel, whereas a man will in that time have thrown out 5 possible solutions and want to be working towards those solutions. And in many times it's going to come off insensitive or dismissive. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is, the best problem is a problem that was a problem. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the best type of problem. Unless you want to go in the direction of it being a potential problem. The best problem is a problem you can prevent. You know what I mean? And I would rather us bitch while we're fixing something, or while we're taking efforts to make it so that this doesn't happen again. Do you get what I'm saying? To just get shit fixed, as opposed to just wasting the time to go, I can't believe this happened. This is what went down. Oh man, why didn't we do this? Think about what we could have done in hindsight, as opposed to enacting some of that shit. It's just madness. What?
I just admired that about you. You're a fixer.
It's not something that's unique to me. So that's
I know
that.
it's not.
Number
It's just-
32. What?
Never mind.
No.
It's like, as long as I've known you, you stayed pretty level-headed when it comes into running into problems.
You're not going to want to be in the midst of somebody who is in critical and outrageous distress when shit hits the fan. Do you know what I mean?
That's been me.
Meh. Number 32. I am consciously self-sabotaging myself in almost every aspect of my life. We read this, but I wanted to go into the comment. The comment says, if you figure out how to stop, let us all know. Yeah. Because everybody does it to a certain degree, but, you know, we can't help it sometimes, man. We cannot help it. Because it's a gamble. Life's a roulette half the time. What's up?
All this is just starting to remind me of that extremely existential comic I made a long ass time ago.
That's a good comic, and I wish that you would flesh it out better. You know, I'm not saying that you should change the characters. I'm saying you should panel it properly. But to be honest, even if you just want to keep it the way that it is, it works. Because the jumble complements the thought process. The fuck up nature of I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying it's convoluted or a fuck up in and of itself the way that you've presented it. I'm just saying it complements kind of like I just wish I could do better type, you know, crisis that's present in the actual subject matter of that comic. I will definitely, to people who don't know what we're talking about, it's a comic that Stripes made, and it was born of, you know, passion and how she felt at a certain time in what she was going through, and it really comes through, you know, in the same way that like maybe somebody breaks up with somebody and they start drinking and they write a song that has a lot of meaning to them, and that kind of passion bleeds through into the music. It was a very touching piece of work in my opinion, and it made me feel something. Not to say that a lot of Stripes works doesn't make me feel things, but I just enjoyed this work of hers in particular. Number 31, we're asking the question, you know, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 31 reads, that the purpose of your adult life is to save money, so you don't run out of money when you can't work anymore. Interesting. See, a lot of us, right now we would consider ourselves, you know, at the young adult stage, and we view working as far as earning money as a putting a roof over our head type deal. You know, putting a roof over our head, putting food on the table. We got to pay for the lights to stay on. We got to pay for the internet. Maybe we want TV, you know, maybe we're paying phone bills, you know, maybe we're paying for water. Maybe we're paying for gas, you know, let's have a little bit of disposable income. We can go out and do a couple of the things that we want to do, you know, but after that, we need to decide, okay, yeah, we're going to save. Nobody's going to look after us when we get to a certain age, if we are so lucky to live to that certain age. You know, we're putting money into a fund, a retirement fund, you know, and it's really ridiculous. Growing old is really awful. I was playing Kingdom Hearts recently, and in the beginning they ask you what you're afraid of, and this is not even a joke. I was like, look, I'm afraid of getting old. Okay. Whoa.
Well, I think what you can expect to see is you maybe getting a little more distinguished.
That's the first Stripes answer you've given today. Okay.
I'm sorry.
A response says, well, I hadn't thought of it like that before, and now I need a hug. And then somebody said, a hug won't save you.
What I mean is just, okay, so I've had this.
Somebody said, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 30 is that I was birthday sex.
Oh my god.
Oh my bing bong. He did the math. Do you think that that's an answer?
Oh, I finally understood what they mean. Well, I mean, a lot of people have birthdays in November because it correlates with February 8 months ago. So it could be worse.
Well, you could be Valentine's Day sex. You guys banged because of some stupid, you know, calendar. You know, I came really close to doing a Reddit collection, and you want to know what it's about?
What was it about?
A man made a spreadsheet on Reddit about all the times that his wife denied sex with him. That's a no-no, man, you know? I could see maybe after like 20 years of marriage or something. Maybe even 15 years of marriage. But when you don't want to do the person you're with, you know, are you getting it somewhere else, you know? The eyebrows are going to start raising here. It's very confusing. Not that you know, I know that some people compromise, or the word I should use is settle, when they realize whatever relationship they're going to be in. Sometimes they get pregnant. Sometimes they realize that the person that they're with is actually pretty lame, when that's their own fault, you know what I mean? But, like, dude, when you're not getting intimate with your partner, you know, with your significant other. Why? I just have so many questions about that.
You
But people
you
are
know
different.
the analogy of like a frog will not realize it's boiling alive if you set the water gradually.
Yeah, if you slow cook it.
I think that's the same thing with relationship. You don't realize that you're just getting tired or bored with the person because it happens so gradually. So by the time you realize it, it might be too late for you to even get out.
What's too late though, Stripes? Kids?
Kids, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Like I feel like women in particular, and I'm not saying men don't do it as well, but women specifically reach a level of comfort. Like let's say that a comfort slider goes up in the same way that a laziness slider goes up, where they're thinking, I'm comfortable here, even though potentially I could be more comfortable in another scenario, but I don't want to restart something with somebody else. And I think this is why a lot of dumb hoes end up with like ex-boyfriends, again, is because they hate the idea of having to restart with somebody else. Because when they restart with another person, Stripes, the temptation is so high to put forward something of themselves that's not true, like for them to like invent something of themselves, or for them to pretty much just act another way, you know, to put on like a mask. We're not just talking about physical stuff like push-up bras where they can get away with it and, you know, acting a certain way and speaking a certain way, blah blah blah. I'm talking about like, you know, maybe in their last relationship something was clearly not something that was very popular with their significant other, so now they're going to make a conscious effort to hide this thing in the new relationship, right? But the bottom line is that thing is who they are, and they can hide it as long as they're willing to exert themselves and put a considerable amount of effort into omitting it from who they are and their personal traits or whatever. But in time, it will bleed back in, and because they haven't been being themselves, the more that themselves comes out, and this again goes to men and women, the person, you know, may not line up compatibility wise with who that person actually is. And this is all icing the cake of, remember, like say you and I meet each other, Stripes, and we like who we both are right now. I like you, you like me, we get together, okay? There's no guarantee that in 5 years time that I will like the you that you are right now, right? And there's no guarantee that in 5 years time that you will like the me that I am right now. You may grow out of what you would like. So when we put that on top of the fact that you're definitely going to change, I'm definitely going to change, we're basically both going to be different people in 5 years, what's the certainty of us liking the new people that we become? You know what I mean? It's just like too much. So when you're throwing in these things where you're not being true to who you are, and oh my God, you're staying together for the kids, how the hell do you think that's going to work? Do you think the kids are benefiting from this? Do you know what I mean? I think, and as rude as it is to say, because it's probably bad for, you know, the younger parties when this happens, what I'm about to say, but I feel like, unfortunately, money should be one of the biggest things that restrict a person into a relationship. Do you know what I mean? And I see this so many times with a lot of like women that I used to know, where they get knocked up and they know that this guy isn't right for them. They know that they don't want to be with this guy, but they have nowhere else to go. They're not working. Do you get what I'm saying? They got nothing going on. And like, even though they know what they need to do, they know where they need to go, they know how they need to establish themselves to get out of this situation, right? They usually fuck up and have more kids or some shit like this. Do you get what I'm saying? It's madness. It's madness. But, oh well. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you, yeah.
Let's go to number 29. The question again being asked is, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 29 says, my mother was sexually assaulted by her father for her entire childhood. God, we got kid rape in this one. I had grown up sleeping on her childhood bed frame. The realization that she probably was raped multiple times on the bed frame that I grew up sleeping on hit me one night in 8th grade, and I couldn't stop puking. That sucks. Somebody responds, or think instead your mother replaced brutal memories with loving ones of her tucking you in each night. That's a wholesome memory, but it's not going to change the past. You know, it's a wholesome, it's a glass half
Yes.
full type
Yeah.
way of looking at things, but it's not going to change the past, and that's truly unfortunate for that mom. But let's hope that she establishes a much healthier existence for her kid, for how awful things were for her. You know, I've been told things like, you know, I'm like my father, who I've never seen in my life. You know what I mean? And the idea that, like, if I were to have a child, that I would have as little to do with that kid as my father has had to do with me is just, like, you know,
Well, no.
rude. It's just like one of the most heartless things that I've ever heard. And I always think to myself that because of hearing something like that, it's made me better. Because I may discipline my kid when he's coming up. I may, you know, make decisions that, you know, are wrong long term for this kid. But I'm never going to say some shit like that without thinking that's going to stick with that kid like that. Because I know better from my past. So the realization and hope here is that this mother, having gone through the torment and fucking cruelty of straight physical rape when she was a child and genuinely had no way of retaliating, is that maybe she can raise this kid with 50,000 times the love that she was given when she was younger. And it's a heartbreaking realization, but he's lucky to be here typing on this shit, hopefully not having some shit happen to him like what happened to the mom. And that sucks, you know?
I could not imagine a situation like that, honestly.
That's what's up. Number
Oh,
28. What?
I think someone asked for the thing I did. Is it okay if I just leave
Go
it in
ahead.
chat? Okay.
Number 28. Arthur C. Clarke said it was best for me. Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. I think everybody knows that I believe that we are not alone in the universe. And if anybody is curious as to my reasoning, it's not a mathematical equation that shows how many planets are, you know, are in a hospitable zone as it pertains to their distance away from their sun. I like to think of it like this. If we were looking for other humans, and only other humans, like just on Earth itself, we would be missing so many other types of life forms that, for all intents and purposes, are invisible. Not just because we couldn't look too deep underwater and there are things underwater, not just because we couldn't look too high in the sky and there are things looking in the sky, not just because there are things that exist on a molecular level that we need a microscope to see. Do you know what I mean? If we don't have the proper tools to see certain things, we'll never find them. So I make that point to make this point, you know? When it comes to the search for extraterrestrial life, many people set the bar at looking for other planets in other systems where the sun is in what we would call a Goldilocks zone, away from the sun, where it's warm enough but not too cold to sustain life. But the life that we're looking for is the type of life that we are, you know? And I don't think that's acceptable. You know, what we define as life shouldn't be just a thing that falls under an umbrella. It should be something bigger than that. And we shouldn't be looking for us because we're fragile carbon-based life forms. We should be looking for other types of things. I happen to believe that things maybe have fallen out of the sky that can exist in a vacuum and don't really need other people to sexually reproduce the way that we do. Maybe they can just split off and become new things, you know?
When they say life forms, they just mean
I
it's
fucking
like,
love Stripes interrupting my friggin' biggly ass points. Go ahead, Stripes. Ugh.
I think their definition already just involves anything that can reproduce. And
But it
sustain.
doesn't extend to everybody, Stripes, and that's what I'm addressing. You know, is that there, even if not everybody believes that, some people do, and that's part of the problem. And I feel like if I were to quickly condense what I'm saying, it's that we can't find something that we're not equipped to look for. In the same way that we couldn't see microorganisms without a fucking microscope, we're not going to be able to find certain aliens, as we refer to them, if we're not looking for the right thing. So, you know, that's that. And we might as well move on. The question, once again, to reiterate, is what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 27. That being the grown-up adult parent doesn't give me any more answers to everything in life than it did before. And then realizing that my parents were also just as lost, making it up as they go along. Someone really should have told us. Nigga, I bet you your grandparents are like chuckling at this shit. Parents too, you know what I mean? I mean, you think there's like a guide? You're better equipped than they were. because they would just do shit that they could get away with. You know what I'm talking about? There's actually a post on the front page of Reddit right now, which I fucking love. I think a guy just like photoshopped his baby into really ridiculous like things, but like initially they're kind of subtle. So that people would be like, oh, look at, oh, wait a minute. They'd look at the background and be like, this is kind of dangerous, right? You know? You got like the baby at the steering wheel on the highway. That's great. He's got one hand free and then the other hand on his coffee. That's genius.
I think he was actually on his lap.
This one's him throwing the baby just a little bit too high, you know? So that's that good Photoshop. That's that dank shit, you know what I'm talking about? Wow. Favorite baby with playing with the knives next to an open flame. That's very good stuff. He's making some stir fry, you know. Baby's gonna help out. Look at that.
This is my favorite.
Baby going up into the attic, you know. You'll be fine. Baby will be fine. Unbelievable.
How can a baby climb a ladder? It's like
it's Photoshops. Stripes. You get that?
Like, I know that, but it doesn't make sense. How do you get there to begin with?
What do you mean, how do you get there to begin with? The person put the baby, okay, maybe on the first or second rung of the ladder, immediately took a picture, and then
understand it's a Photoshop. It's the fact that it doesn't really line up with reality, even if it's just about putting a baby in dangerous situations. It still couldn't have gotten up there by itself.
You don't know that. Babies are getting crazier and crazier every day. I like to think that baby Kyle could do some crazy shit like that. And they play that song in the background that's like...
Didn't you get a nail stuck in your hand once?
What is it? I was like a toddler then. I think I was in elementary school and the nail went clean through my hand. I could have died, mate. I could have died. Number 26. The question being asked once again, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 26 reads, sitting in my Western civilization history, I realized all the historic figures we know and love are either batshit crazy or narcissistic. Fuck all of that. To me, the big realization about a lot of these assholes, particularly that formed our country, isn't just that they were crazy, isn't just that they were like nigger haters, you know what I mean, and like fucking racist as they come, you know what I mean? They were part of fucking cults, Stripes. Not like sugar water, you know, a little bit of diluted monkeys. We go all drink some of this shit and have a crazy ritual in the woods. It's kind of like a grown-up fraternity, you know what I mean? Like culty ass, ritualistic, dirty blood, dirty cults. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like women are objects cults. You know what I'm talking about? Fucking dehumanized, sacrificial, like people are getting killed cults, dude, that still exist today. But I'm not trying to get my video flagged or have people coming from me from the government. So let me just say that I'm joking right now. Or you hear me, CIA? Let's move on. Number 25, the question being asked once again, what's the most disturbing realization that you've come to? And this answer says, number 25, I think I'm broken and I don't know how to fix me. I'm not crazy. It's okay. We're all a little broken. And sometimes we're all just looking for the person that can mend us the best. You know?
I mean,
is that too poetic to say, Stripes?
There's like seeing your flaws, and there's just constantly beating yourself up about it.
I like to think of myself as a double-edged sword, you know? Not every scenario calls for a sword, and even I know that. But I know that I can't make it through life going, you know, into every situation as if it's a combat situation. What I feel like I need in a compatible partner is a sheath, which is, you know, what you slide the sword into. You get what I'm saying? And that way we would be compatible. Now, if that person is, you know, broken to a certain degree, maybe I need to be something that's capable of mending her. Maybe I can be broken too and she can be capable of mending me. And that way it's a two-way street. Things are mutual, things are reciprocated, and things work, you know? But some people are so fixated, much like remember earlier I was talking about how, you know, you can't just focus on, you know, I'm consciously self-sabotaging myself at every aspect. You can't just focus on that. You have to try and think about what you can change. Think about what you can do right now. Think about how that affects your future. You have to look forward, and you have to think about what you can do. So yeah, maybe you're broken. Maybe you need to not beat yourself up about it. Maybe you need to just hold out hope. If what you've tried doesn't work, if you have outlets and they don't work for you, and you've tried changing outlets and you think there's no hope, just ride it out. See if somebody maybe can help you. It's a horrible thing, the idea of becoming dependent. You know what I mean? Say a person is broken, and say they feel that the only way for them to not be broken is to seek the aid of another person, to seek help. You know what I mean? Everybody needs help at some point, but to find that in a person that you want as a significant other or somebody that you would be intimate with, I know it's a very scary realization to become dependent on somebody, especially with other contrasting or complementary, I should say, fears, where people are saying that, what was the one that they were saying earlier, where people aren't obligated to love them, and that people can just stop. Yeah, they feel disposable. Disposable.
They need them more than.
It's a very scary realization. So even worse, think of that. You're broken. Other people can fix you, but you feel disposable to them, and the anxiety just kills you on the inside. It's a really scary thing to think about, but you can't go too far. You can't go too far. All you got to do is take shit a step at a time, because we have no certainty that we're gonna make it too far outside of today. And that's a scary realization. Again, not trying to make this about death, but it seems that this is really just becoming an existential death list. How about that?
Life starts outside of your comfort zone, I suppose.
Nigga, I don't know about all that. I need to enjoy the comfort of this room. If I could just build a studio underground, I'd never leave that. I'm fine with experiencing the world inside a bubble.
I want a fortress too.
I want an underground bunker that perhaps can withstand some kind of nuclear fallout. I'm not saying that I'm opposed to venturing out into the real world occasionally, to make grocery runs or see what the hell humanity's up to and the stupid shit that they get down on. Maybe make small talk with some fuck that wants to talk about the weather, or some band that they're into, or maybe even a sports team that they follow. Do you get what I'm saying? Have dumb, I'm just trying to get by you conversation in an aisle with some fuck that's really just spending the day there, and like this is their free time and this is how they get down. Maybe go walk around a park and play an outdated Pokemon game on my phone. But the bottom line is, I don't need to participate in in life as other people see it by going to a movie and experiencing a restaurant. Don't let that beach opportunity pass you by. Go ahead and ride in that boat or on that wave runner. It's just like, I want to live the way people live. Just let me chill. I have a better time sitting and going through some bomb ass YouTube videos than I would, some places where when I leave the house, sometimes it's essentially a countdown to when I can go back home. How did we get to talking about this? The question, once again, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? I guess for me, it would personally be that I'm some sort of maniac. But number 24 reads that for most people, what? It doesn't say people. You don't say people. Okay. Let's try that again, Kyle. Number 24. That for the most part, everyone is just winging it all the time about everything. So no one knows what they're doing. This makes me sad because it makes me remember this list that I read about autism. And if you recall correctly, one of the things that one of the people said when they were asked, what's it like to be autistic? They said this heartbreaking thing. They said that it's like everybody's acting. No, it's like everybody's participating in like a play or something to that effect. And they all have, their script. They all have their lines. They all know what to do. They all know where to be, but you don't. And you know that everything you say is wrong and that you keep fucking up, but for some reason you can't stop. And that shit sucks, Stripes. It made me feel so bad because it's very difficult to understand what, even mildly autistic people are going through. Because even people with Asperger's, we can't help but just make fun of, because it's like, how do you not know when the fuck to shut up? Just shut up. That shit ain't hard. We make a joke, even if it gets laughs. We can beat ourselves up about it and be like, nigga, why are you joking so much? It wasn't even that funny. Why are you trying to be a joker? They're nervous laughing. They're just laughing to shut you up. That don't do anything more. Don't say anything more. Just keep it down. But some of these people, they can't stop, and my heart goes out to them because it's fucking horrifying. All right. Number 23. My cat doesn't try to eat me because I'm bigger. It's true. That's like a fun fact. That's like a fun fact. What do you mean no? Can I tell you that you're wrong, fool? Can I tell you that you're wrong? Can I tell you that?
Anything yet?
Well, say something then, so I can tell you that you're wrong. Yeah. That's real, Stripes. Cats don't eat people because they're bigger than them cats, you know? Cats are the moodiest women of the animal kingdom. And it's just like, the only thing keeping them nice and chill is the fact that we've domesticated these little losers to be the size of our fucking calf, Max, you know?
Okay, wait. But it's not stopping them because when you die, then they'll eat you anyway.
The reason that they don't try it while we're alive. I'm sorry, Stripes. Have you just become a Reddit commenter? Would you like to get on Reddit and leave a comment in the comment section? But they eat dead people. Ugh. You know, they eat dead people all the time. I'm surprised that comment's not here. Can I find that comment for you, Stripes? Let me find the comment. I think it's in here. You know, the top comment says, never stopped mine from giving it a shot. You don't need to sell me on cats. I'm already a fan. If I got my facts right, cats think of humans as cats. So no, it probably wouldn't eat you. Cats think of humans as cats?
No, that's not true. I heard they lick themselves after they, like, rub up against people because they hate the smell of people. They don't like smelling like people.
Somebody said, I have always heard that, but my cat seems to disprove that. She is super shy around humans and super aggressive around other cats, even those bigger than her. Someone else weighs in. I don't know, but you can easily explain that your cat is being okay, Reddit, stop. We came here for the top comments, not people jungling off on their cat philosophies. You know, in my close study of cats, get the fuck out of here. The question once again is, what's a disturbing realization you've come to? Number 22 reads, my parents divorced when I was 5. It was nasty and apparently I was a shitty kid after that, although I don't remember ever feeling like I was doing anything wrong, and when I look back, I still don't understand why I was perceived so badly. Anyway, I used to spend a month on my aunt and uncle's farm every summer. For a month, a year. I felt like I was part of the real loving family, and those were the happiest days of my childhood. Until one summer, I was probably 7 or 8, they had to come pick me up and my sisters, and I accidentally overheard my dad arguing with them, begging them to take me. They refused. Everyone loaded into the car, and I cried as they pulled away. My dad tried to explain that he decided I should stay so we could spend some one-on-one time together. But my dad worked a lot, so I spent the next day basically alone in an empty house. That's when I realized I was never going to have the family I wanted. Kids need love, you know, so I can't attack anybody. There's no 2 cents here to give, really.
No one's really to blame here. He's working to make amends eat for his
I'm not
kids.
saying that anybody is here to blame, you know? The comment that I would want to make is tough shit, little nigga. And man the fuck up. You could be out on the streets. You could be having to work yourself, even though it's not legal, because like the roof over your head is not something that the dad is even going to provide. You're not getting like meals, you know what I mean? But you know, I'm always the first to say that you shouldn't not be sad because somebody else is sadder, in the same way that like you smiling should have nothing to do with the fact that somebody else can be happier somewhere about something. What I'm saying in this instance is I would have said something, but I wasn't gonna, because, you know, this kid shouldn't just be like, oh, be appreciative because you have a roof and you have food when other people don't. The bottom line is, like, it's almost bad. It's almost worse in this scenario because he experienced it, you know? He was given a teaspoon of something that he loved as far as the loving environment at the aunt and uncle's house. And then it was kind of taken away from him by a dad that unfortunately
couldn't
provide him that for him.
Right.
And that's unfortunate. Let's see what some of the responses to this say, though. Here we go, man. Somebody says, I had a similar experience just later in life. I was basically adopted at 15 by my best friend's family. Everything was great. Thought they had accepted me. I had totally accepted them as blood. One day my phone breaks. Friend's mom gives me her old phone to turn on, one of those Nokia bricks the late 90s, I think. Well, she never erased the storage, so got a message from my friend on the new phone and decided to scroll up for some reason. Loads of texts between him and the family talking about how I was worthless, and the best thing for them would be to get me out on my own so that they wouldn't have to deal with it. I was maybe 24 at this time, freshman in college, graduate, waiting tables when I first got home. Some shit just doesn't heal. Aw. Yeah, you never want to hear that kind of stuff at any age.
I'm honestly really afraid what the people closest to me think of me personally. Like, there's only a handful of people, but even then.
Well, you can work on it. You know? And you shouldn't let it bring you down. Especially if you're trying what you would consider your best. And don't let anybody else tell you what your best is or is not. Because it's easy to say that you could be doing this or you could be doing that. But when they're not you, they can't tell you. A response to that response says, it always amazes me reading on Reddit how people will call someone worthless or whatever. And then you find out the person has a degree, is on the right path, not addicted to drugs. What exactly do they expect? I'm a 50-year-old mother of mid-20s kids who smoke too much pot, take anti-anxiety meds, but won't do counseling, have no education past high school, have zero hobbies besides pot and Reddit, and are $10,000 in debt, plus just financed a used car, and have absolutely no idea what to do with their lives. But I don't think they are worthless. They are living on their own and trying to make it their way. It's not what I wanted for them, but it's not my life. So it blows my mind that these people don't see they should be proud of you. I am, and I'll never meet you. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that was a tough period of time for them and that they no longer feel that way. But crap, dude, it sucks, and I'm sorry you saw that. The bottom line is, it's very easy for people to just come to a conclusion about a person based on the hilariously small amount of context they have into that person's life. You have no insight into anybody else's life, so it's really fun when people judge, because it's not even like a puzzle piece in context of the puzzle. It's like a puzzle piece that is the same on both sides. You know what I mean? So you don't even know which side is the right side. You have no idea what the fucking box looks like. Do you know what I mean? And this shit has nothing to do with you. Talk about like getting in the Kool-Aid and not knowing the flavor. Like, oh my God, dude. The bottom line is, people unfortunately come to like think of a parent that just thinks of their kid as just not the best or something. What frame of reference do they have going on? You know? What frame of reference do they have? Things they've seen on TV, maybe a YouTube video that they've seen. They can just, all they do is compare. A lot of parents compare their children to children that are better, but they rarely ever compare their children to people that are worse. You know, they're not on drugs. They're not out doing like some kind of dangerous job, like where they're a bouncer at a club and they could get shot, or you know what I mean, or they're doing something crazy like this. They're not shooting up. They're not fucking slinging. They're not, out with prostitutes. They're not. Most kids, hilariously, especially these days, are at fucking home. Do you get what I'm saying? Most kids are at home. So when you're roasting these kids, when most of these kids are just trying to live their life and harm no one, it's just nuts. But like I said, maybe terrible parents equip children with the capacity to be amazing parents, because the last thing they want in their lives is A, to become their parents with some of the cruel things they did, and B, to have a personal hand in creating a scenario for a terrible childhood that they perhaps went through. It's very terrible just to think about it. Very, very terrible.
But there's also cases where it just becomes a cycle and they couldn't help themselves.
And those are the worst of all. And those are the worst of all. Dad beat the kid, so the kid beats another kid that it has, and the cycle continues. Maybe the parents grew the kid up in, racist, prejudice type shit. Maybe they grew him up to devalue women, Maybe they have no idea. They have no frame of reference of what's right or wrong. And you like to think that everybody reaches an age where they should be able to come to terms with what's morally objectionable, Ugh. But the bottom line is, it's all about where you are. And just like we were talking about the Indian kids who didn't have plates, it's a gamble. You don't get to choose where you're born. You don't get to choose where you come up. You don't get to choose the things that may be available to you. You know, all you may have are, you know, gangs to help you stay safe, to keep you alive. You know, all you may have is slinging dope as a means to get the fuck up out of here or make some money. And it's not something that anybody can judge you about, because like I said, they don't have a piece of your puzzle. You know what I mean? They don't know the flavor. They don't know what the hell's going on. They've never had that kind of life. How could they understand? But, you know, people always got something to say. And that's the ridiculous part. Some people just need a good old slap because shit got nothing to do with them and they got something to say about it. Maybe I need to take that slap, you know? But I only try to speak from experience and out of objectivity and, you know, it's a sad world. But we're not even on number 20. So let's bring this on home. You know what I mean? What?
I think you're going to be worn out by the time we get to 12.
Why would I be?
How long have we been doing this? Maybe an hour and a half.
Man, God forbid it's that long. You can check out at any time.
I don't want to check out. It's just I'm worried about you.
There's nothing to worry about. The question being asked once again is, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 21. I will never truly be able to understand another person, their experiences, thoughts, and emotions. I'll upvote the shit out of this. Because it takes a fucking man. It takes a real big person. Not just a man, obviously. But it takes a person, a wise person, that has absorbed the experiences throughout their life to come to this realization and truly accept it. You know, even if you as a person went through exactly the same shit that another person went through, it doesn't mean that you know shit about how they feel, what they're going through, what it's like. They are an individual. You know what I mean? And they've experienced something different from you. And in the same way that they can't tell you what you're thinking or how you feel, you can only assume what they feel. And this is something that so many people struggle with. You know what I mean? Is the idea that not only are people different from them, but that just because something has occurred with that person that lines up with what you've gone through doesn't mean you know shit about it.
I guess that's why empathy is a thing, huh?
Again, there's nothing wrong with, extending a bit of understanding. There's nothing wrong with being there for a person. But to, try to tell them that they know what it's like, just because you've been through something similar or maybe even the exact same thing. We could have two twins that we raise in a controlled environment and go through the same shit for years of their life. You think they're both going to do exactly the same things and respond exactly the same way and have exactly the same reactions? Hell to the fuck nah. And the reason is because everybody is different. So I really like this one. I have to say that.
It really, well, I shouldn't say it surprised me, but we were just talking about this exact thing before you read this one. So that's a little amusing to me. What's up?
Faith in the stream chat says that one of her closest friends made another one of her closest friends, her boyfriend, sign a contract saying that he won't talk to Faith or she'll dump him.
She won't talk to Faith.
No, the woman made the boyfriend sign a contract saying that he wouldn't talk to Faith or the woman would dump the boyfriend. And okay. I just typed that's insecurity. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? That is childish as fuck. It's funny that a guy will put up with some shit like that for some pussy. But, Faith must have it going on if she'd that scared. You better not talk to her. To go back to the list, the question is, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 20. My cat's crusty butt has touched everything on my desk. Yeah, that's a nasty thing about cats. You getting that cat everywhere, and it's not just that cat licks stuff And the cat licks its butt too. Someone responds, one of my friends works at a veterinarian's office. They have one of those naked cats as kind of like their unofficial mascot, and she just roams around doing naked cat things. But apparently what no one tells you about naked cats is there's no fur to stop their butthole from suction cupping all the surfaces they sit on. So her office just makes their interns follow this cat around to clean up all its butt puckers off the glass.
It's like lipstick.
Ugh. Oh my god. Number 19. My parents will actually die one day. Oh, what a brutal realization. Somebody responds, every time I think about this, I think about how it's better for my parents when I outlived them. And this is the way of life. I can't even imagine what pain it'd be to visit your own child's funeral. Well, that's just how it goes. Somebody else says, yep, someone's mom here. Don't you dare go before me, or you're grounded. Okay. Number 18. No matter how much someone you love is ruining their own life, they are the only person who can do anything to change themselves. It's true. You are not obligated or responsible for somebody else's treatment of the things that are going on for them. They need to make that decision. You can help, you can provoke, you can do everything to incite action in their life until they make up their mind and make that choice. Things that you may try to take over control and do for them will only get undone until they make that decision. Some guy goes, fucking tell me about it. The fact that I essentially have no power to help them if they aren't willing to accept it drives me nuts sometimes. What were you going to say?
I suppose it was just you can guide them in the right direction. It's that whole horse analogy, I would think.
Yeah, you can lead a horse to a sandwich, but you can't make him like bologna. Number 17. That in a few generations of family, no one will remember who I am.
Shit.
That's a scary realization, huh? I don't know my great-grandfather's name.
I don't know my grandmother's name.
What, Stripes?
No, I don't.
Like, I've never seen a picture of my great-grandfather. It's pretty scary.
I don't even know much about my own heritage.
We can't let this list bring us down. We need to stay upbeat. We can't let this list bring us down. That's a scary thing to think about. Somebody responds, have you considered becoming a ghost? Oh, good. Oh, I never thought about that. Somebody else says, conversely, we're the first generation of people to have our lives so intimately connected with social media that our great-great-grandchildren could conceivably have access to all of our Instagram pictures, videos, Snapchats. They'll see thoughts as Facebook posts, maybe even Reddit comments, and probably even be able to know what music we liked at periods in our lives and everyone that we had relationships with. That's very cool. That's very cool. You know what I want to do? I want to post my Spotify stuff.
I thought you were going to actually start using social media like Twitter or something.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Why the fuck would I ever start doing that? You think I'm some kind of female? Hey guys, there's my Spotify link in the comment section below. Wait a minute, that's not a Spotify link. Oh my gosh, baby climbing up a ladder. Anyway, listen, let's get back into these. Number 16, that I am painfully boringly normal in most ways, and the only unique in ways that distance me from those I prefer to be closer to. What? What does that mean? That I am painfully boringly normal in most ways, and only unique in the ways that distance me from those I prefer to be closer to. That's confusing.
So wait, they don't like the thing that you're about?
No, they're saying that they themselves are painfully normal. They're basic, They're average. I'm gonna watch a Vine. I'm gonna jump on Facebook type schmuck. That goes out to a movie theater and watches most of the movies that we would watch a trailer to and go, what shit? I'm not going to watch that. You know what I mean? But they're going to the movies regardless. So they might as well just watch something, That's how they get down. That's what they do. They go out. So I understand this part, but he says, I'm only unique in the ways that distance me, as in that push me away, that put space between me, and the people that I prefer to be closer to. So you want to be close to people, but you are unique in ways that distance themselves from you. So what that would mean is like, you know, okay, I want to be closer to you, Stripes, and you really like music, but I'm unique in the fact that I don't like music, so it puts distance between us. What the fuck did this person just write? How did it get upvoted so much? Like, when I don't understand it. Well, I get it. There are other people in the world, and somebody in the comment section needs to explain this, because this shit blows my mind. Rebecca's like, Kyle Senpai, do you have a Snapchat again? My Snapchat is my first name. And if you've been in this freaking channel for more than like 4 videos, you should know that. You want to know the weirdest thing? I think that's like a tab right now. And it says Snap. Kyle. What the fuck? What a question. Rebecca? Man, it's a good thing I got Hannah. Cause I would just go on a rampage kill. And I say Hannah and not Stripes because Stripes just wants me to kill. Less competition for her. You don't want me to kill?
You wouldn't kill women.
Why not? Well, women got enough going on, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Look,
there are evil women though, and I'd be a crime fighter.
You save more lives than you rape, you mean?
I'd save more than I rape. You're right. Wow. Wow. Anyway, I'm okay. Somebody responds, there's nothing wrong with that. Although if you want to be a little more interesting, start going through random hobbies and find something you really love.
See,
how do you not have a hobby, dude?
Look, the way I interpret it is either they're like, they have an extreme social disorder, or they're autistic. So it's one or the other.
It's crazy because I wish we were like in the future to the point where we could be linked with people that we're super compatible with. Because I like to think that I would super duper get along with people that are shut-ins and, you know, want nothing to do with other people. Because even though I want nothing to do with other people, I'd love to share space and have companions that want nothing to do with other people. And we could want nothing to do with other people together. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. That's what makes
where could people like us congregate? You know what I mean? Where could people like us congregate? It's madness. Guys, I want to quickly bring your attention to a subreddit that I created today. And the subreddit is called Narrated. And you can easily get to that subreddit by literally just going to reddit.com/r/narrated. I've posted a link in the comment section. What I would like you guys to do is if you find something that you think I should read, post it there, you know? And then I will try, you know, if things get upvoted, maybe I'll narrate it. If it's definitely interesting, you know, I'll definitely narrate it, probably put it on the channel. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute and say, is this thread open to other aspiring narrators that it might be a little less experienced than you?
Nah, fuck them. This is about me, baby. All right. I already don't have a presence on Reddit because no one shares my content, and that's not what I'm going to attack people to do. That's not what I do this channel for. I'm not seeking out a crazy amount of fame. I'm not seeking a crazy amount of money. I don't want a lot of subscribers. I don't want you guys liking my video. You know what I mean? If you want to, that's fine. You know, if you want to drop that like right now, that's fine. But I don't see myself as the type of people that's begging you to like some of my shit, that's begging you to subscribe every video, that's begging you to go to my Twitter and my other social bullshit. You know what I mean? What I want you to do is just come and enjoy. I want you to chill out. I want you to, you know, have a distraction if you need a distraction. If this is your outlet, then I understand. And let that be it. You know, I really don't need you to do anything else. Again, this is my outlet, you know? And we're talking about this guy and how he views himself as boring. Somebody's initial response was, oh, bro, look through hobbies and find something that you really love. You know what I mean? The sad part is, most of the people who don't have hobbies don't have time for that shit. And those are the people that my heart goes out to because, you know, a lot of people are doing what they do out of necessity. We were talking earlier about relationships where women are with people and men are with people that they don't see themselves with, that they aren't compatible with, and we're searching for reasons why. What's so bad that you would stay in a relationship that you don't belong in? Is it because you're lazy? You know what I mean? You don't want to start it over with another person? Is it because for the most part you're comfortable, and even though this isn't what you want, you might as well just settle for it? Or is it worse? Do you have a kid? Do you know what I mean? Is it even worse where money is restricting you from doing any of the things that you would otherwise have access to? You know, you don't have a place, you don't have a job, you know what I mean? You don't have somebody that will be willing to help you or set you up for a certain amount of time. So let's extend that to this, where some people don't have hobbies, some people don't have time for hobbies, and all the extra time that they have, the excess needs to be put into endeavors that will be making them money. Do you get what I'm saying? That's how I feel sometimes, where I don't have anything going on, or so I need to be trying to my best to make money in my downtime. It's scary because, man,
Did you just steam?
I didn't lose steam. It's just like a sad thought. You know, in the same way that some people could probably be fucking virtuosos, geniuses in their craft. Some people could be incredible singers. Some could be amazing dancers, ridiculous artists, impeccable chefs, like chosen musicians. But they don't have the money. They don't have the time. They never have the outlet. They never had the opportunity that they needed. What's even worse, we live in a day and age where people have what they need. They have the ingredients to make some crazy ass dish. They have the instrument to lick some fucking crazy ass tune. They got the equipment as far as a microphone to make what they have available to other people. And I'm not tooting my own horn here, Stripes, but I like to believe that if I grab 10 people off the street, that 6 to 7 of those people might at least like the sound of my voice, whether or not they had something whether or not I had something to say that interested them. Okay, now what I say that to say is this: some people will never find their audience. And I hate to get cripplingly, depressing with that kind of realization, but that fits the topic of this stream/list. A crippling realization, unfortunately, is it's not just that some people don't have the time or, money to chase their hobbies. They don't have the audience. They don't have the room. They'll never reach the people that they would need to reach, that, they could get set up the way that some of these fucking musicians get set up, where they basically win the lottery and become an incredible fucking star because the right people heard them and the right people threw them out to the other types of people,
Yeah, the things they enjoy sustain them.
I feel so bad because it's so wrong. It feels shitty. It feels unfair, but life is unfair. That's the real realization. Life is unfair. And it hurts. Because my pain goes out to other people.
There's like hundreds of people clamoring for other people's attention that some people get left behind.
I'm sorry, Stripes. My initial point was this, everybody needs a hobby. Everybody needs an outlet. And my outlet, for people who've been coming to these streams for a long time, they will know that one of the things that I do, a lot of what I do on this channel for, is to make it so that even if it's just a distraction, even if it's just temporary, some people can have something to listen to that keeps them from feeling as terrible as I felt in the past. Things have gone down that I didn't deserve, but life is unfair, and you gotta roll with that shit. You can't wallow in the fact that you didn't deserve this and this thing happened to you and it's fucked up. You gotta roll with that shit. So I try to make it so that, unfortunately, if another person reaches that kind of precipice where they want to hurt themselves maybe, or they just feel like nobody's got their back and they've got nowhere to turn, at least they'll have this as a distraction that they can go back to and listen to, you know what I mean? And have somebody that's there, even if that person doesn't feel like they're there, so it can keep them from feeling what I felt. Because you know what I needed at those times in my life? I needed somebody that was willing to do that for me. I needed somebody that where it felt like they were willing to make it so that shit wasn't as bad, or that shit could get better than it is right now. And that's what I want to extend to anybody listening to this if they're going through something, that it gets better. It gets better than this. And sometimes, as rude as it is to say, the bad shit that's happening in your life is going to give that the good shit, when it does start happening, that extra sparkle. You know what I mean? Some kids are born rich, and they'll never really enjoy things to a certain extreme that we could enjoy because we've known the depths of terrible situations. And the good is gooder because the bad that bad, so to speak. Don't quote me on that. But fuck
Gouda?
me.
Did you say Gouda?
This isn't about cheese, Stripes.
Listen, I think my favorite comments to see on your videos are just like people that say that your videos help them get through work that particular day, or even like policemen listening to your shit while they're on duty.
Don't talk about the policeman. That shit always frightens the hell out of me. I like the idea of like a police guy just shitting in his car going, ha ha ha, big ass titties. I fucked this fat hoe one time and I was like, bitch, nobody's gonna hear about this. Not that cops fuck fat hoes. I'm just, oh my god, we've gone too far off the rails. There's nothing wrong with fat girls. Ooh, reel it in, Kyle. You've said too much. We revisit our list by reestablishing the topic comment, monkey, time post subject balls. What's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Oh man, number 15. Forgotten memories won't return. They might.
They might. Some thoughts have triggers to them.
They might.
Yeah, like even
maybe we've forgotten some things for a reason. Don't even worry about that. Don't even trip, bro. Don't even worry about that. Don't even trip, dog. I got you, man. What? Maybe we've forgotten some things for a reason. What?
I just drew my twin sister, and I'm not sure why.
Some regressed memories coming up, huh? Maybe you're in love. Maybe you gotta break her up with her man, and then you guys can be together forever. Together forever with my twin sister better. Forgotten memories won't return. Every time you remember something, it's like painting over faded paint, and you distort it slightly until almost all of it is imagination. Jesus Christ. That's a little bit dark, isn't it? I wouldn't say that. Somebody responds to that. Oh boy. Sometimes. What?
Sorry.
Did you say something about Jumanji?
No, I said Hachi-Machi.
Hachi-Machi. Sometimes I think about something I may well never have thought about. Oh no. Wait, why did you say thought of again for the rest of my life? Sometimes I think of something I may well never have thought of again for the rest of my life. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I think I have that on the soundboard. Give me a second.
Do you?
Yeah. Just like this little kid saying Jesus Christ. It's one of my favorite noises. I don't think it's loud enough, though. I don't think it's loud enough. That's unfortunate.
Make it louder.
I think the only way to make it louder would be to access the sound devices, which may have been altered because of the call with you. Do you understand?
Yeah, like I do.
The browser volume would have gone down because when the call started.
You were in the middle of something?
Try it again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's decently loud. Yeah. Sorry for everybody. I'm glad that you took the patience to. What are we even doing? I apologize. Let's get back.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
A response to the initial post saying forgotten memories won't return says, sometimes I think about something I may never have thought of again for the rest of my life, and I wonder if that's the last time I'll ever think about that memory, and it makes me kind of sad. The same goes for people. When I leave a job, I wonder which of these people I'll ever see again, or I'll never see again. Some older people you see on the street won't be around in a few years. Even the strangers in the street, especially the ones that you may see repeatedly and simply don't remember them enough to make an association with their faces. At least one person you see today may never be seen by you again, or may never see you again. I know it's not really a big deal, but it sort of gets to me. The world is just so circumstantial, like there's no apparent reason for any of it. And here we are experiencing each other's existences for these little moments, two ships passing by in the night. Life is so beautiful, and yet so strategically temporary.
You know, sometimes I think about that Jewish man you saw at Costco, and I wonder what he's up to now.
I saw a Jewish man at Costco?
Well, no, we saw him at Costco. We were picking up drinks.
I don't remember him clearly. Did we interact with him?
No, he was just on the phone getting chewed out about something, and he was just being passive-aggressive about it.
Oh, do you remember that she hung up on him?
I do.
Yeah.
He had the biggest frown on his face.
But it was around Thanksgiving or something like that.
It was, yeah.
And I think the gist of the conversation, this is the only reason that it was interesting or it stood out or that I felt like, unashamedly eavesdropping with you, was because it seemed like he was being disinvited to something with a girl that he was into. And that's a terrible feeling, to be under the impression that you're going to be spending whatever dumb holiday that the country you're in has decided is going to be a Hallmark holiday. And then, have that flipped on your head in the context of a phone call that you're having, with tempers raised in a fucking public place. Like, geez, it must be bad. It must be so much worse than you can imagine. And this extends to that thing I'm going to do a Reddit list about. I'll tell you more about it later. So, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Let's go through these a little bit faster, because I love how slow I'm going, but that's probably bad. I'm just going slow because it's a stream and I want people to, enjoy themselves. People are saying some interesting things on the stream chat.
I'm going to send you my sister picture.
Why are you sending me pictures of your sister, girl?
I drew it.
Whoa, Rebecca says he got arrested for statutory rape and holding child pornography, so yeah, I am. Whoa. What's she talking about?
Oh, I think one time you were talking about infant spoons. And I asked if it was statutory. Since you're a spoon lover.
I think she's talking about an ex.
She dated a child molester?
Dude, that's scary as fuck. I don't want anything to do with whatever happened in her past, but I'm glad that they got his ass, you know what I mean? Kitty porn, what the fuck, homie? Look, number 14. That people tend to judge others based on action, not intent. One out-of-character statement or action can permanently alter other people's perception of you. Very true. That's just how it goes. Whoa. I need to make sure that this is being captured properly. And I think it's not because I moved a window. So let me very quickly extend this to try and get it fitting the OBS window a little bit better. That looks like it'll get the job done. A response to this says, we judge ourselves on intent, not action. Typically. And yes, people are getting into the Wikipedia description or definition of what this is. It's called attribution bias. What we did was always because of something around us that happened. I had to cut across traffic because I almost missed an exit, while what others did is because of how they think internally. He cut me off because he's a jerk. So a response to the initial post reads, so a man walks into a bar and sits down. He starts a conversation with an old guy next to him. The old guy has obviously had a few. He says to the man, you see that dock out there? Built it myself. Handcrafted each piece. And it's the best dock in town. But do they call me McGregor the dock builder? No. You see that bridge over there? I built that. Took me 2 months. Through rain and sleet and scorching weather. But do they call me McGregor the bridge builder? No. You see that pier over there? I built that. The best pier in the country. But do they call me McGregor the pier builder? No. The old guy looked around and makes sure that nobody is listening, and he leans to the man and says, but you fuck one sheep. Oh my god. I thought this was a him being called McGregor the drunk, because they see him at the bar, so that's what he is. He's a drunk, you know? You see him multiple times, that's what you assess him to be. You're seeing a puzzle piece, so, you're judging this guy based on what you see. You don't know if his lady, if his woman died. You don't know if his kids tried to, fuck him out of all his money. You don't know if somebody running around on him and cheated on him. All you see is this guy drinking, so it's easy to make assumptions based on just that. What's the most disturbing realization that you've come to? Here's a lengthy one. Number 13. From the very first time I met my sister, when I was 2 and got to hold her when she came home from the hospital, I knew I had an ally, a co-conspirator against the United Parent Front. Whatever else came up when it came down to it, we had each other's backs. I mean, sure, we had our tiffs, what siblings don't. But she was the most caring, loving person I had ever known. She would do almost anything for me if I really needed it, even if I didn't realize I needed it. Almost anything. I needed her to not kill herself. In the end, that was the one thing she could not do. That in turn almost killed me. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to live through, but I lived through that. I have, for the most part, learned to cope. What disturbs me now is those future plans we had, which will now never be. For example, there's a statue in my parents' library my father had made for my mother's birthday. When my sister was 4 and I was 6, my father, sister, and I modeled a few times over the course of a month before my mother's birthday, and it was really difficult for us to keep that secret at that age. But we did. The sculptor used photos of my mom for her part, despite all the efforts that went into it. It's really an ugly sculpture, but we can't really get rid of it because of the memories. My sister and I always joked that when my parents both died, we'd have to decide who'd have to keep the sculpture. We'd then gift it back and forth to each other in funny or discreet ways. Talking about the plan for that ugly sculpture could always make us smile. Now the ugly sculpture will be mine. I won't be able to give it to my sister or sneak it into her house, but I can't get rid of it because of the memories. That thought, among many of its kind, is one of the most disturbing. I will never get to attend her wedding, nor she mine. I will never be an uncle to her children, nor she an aunt to mine. All those future plans, some I knew, and some I still realize year on year that I think always expected, none will be. There are few things so disturbing. Pretty sad.
I'm not particularly close with any of my siblings, not in the way that I'd consider them my best friend or anything. But I'd definitely be heartbroken if anything happened to any of them. Maybe I should put the effort to get closer to them.
It's a frightening thought if you think about it too often. But here's an interesting thought. Someone were to die, let's not talk about how close they may or may not be to you. If someone near you were to die, whose funeral perhaps you were expected to visit, how would you feel? How would you act? And the answer to the question for many people, unfortunately, and most likely is, you wouldn't feel much. You might not act at all, Whether you're numb or not, you might not feel, you might not act at all. So you're forced to ask the question or come to the realization that if you were to die, would they feel nothing as well? Might they not act in a big way? Would they shed a couple of tears and then try to live their life? Think about you when they come across something that belonged to you or something that you did online, when they see your name in their phone contacts or when they come across your handle on Twitter or YouTube. Does it make you a worse person? Because...
No. Well, I've had close family members die. Well, not close family members, I should say. I had family members die several times, but I've never felt anything, and it always makes me feel so guilty. But I didn't know them that well. I'm not sure I'm supposed to feel.
Getting lost in thought is pretty difficult. It's not something that you want to do. But hey, it happens. Number 12. We're coming close to the top. I bet I could get through these pretty quickly if I committed myself. The question once again being asked is, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 12, that most people choose convenience over compassion. This is very true.
God.
We were talking about this earlier as it pertains to people in high places, people that are high earners, They choose what's easy, not, what's right, so to speak. A response to this says, most people's compassion doesn't extend beyond how much attention it will give them. And that's the fucking truth. And like I said earlier, I said these very words earlier, when children are at a young age, they learn to cry, not because they want to cry, but because it will elicit a certain response. Do you get what I'm saying? And we were also talking about parenting, how back in the old days, parents could get away with doing most things, but now, they have to do certain things a certain way, because otherwise, like, their actions will find an audience, and that shame is what keeps them in line. The boundaries, sometimes that are rooted in law, are what keep people from fucking up or stepping outside of those boundaries. It's because they're not allowed to that they don't do it. So to flip that, by contrast, some of the people who are at the top of these ladders only do things if it will sway public opinion, or if it will change a narrative so that perhaps they are looked at in a better way. Imagine I'm making a phone brand, and I call it Samsung, and unfortunately a lot of these phones become hand grenades. You know what I mean? If I could immediately just be like swaying public opinion by donating, some plates to fucking poor ass Indian kids, yeah, I'd do that shit. Not because I care about those poor ass Indian kids, as I'm speaking as a CEO of the hand grenade developer known as Samsung.
There's a new phone. It's a new Samsung phone, Kaya.
Is it edgy?
No.
No, but Samsung makes a phone called the Edge. It was a joke, and it failed. And I could stop making jokes right now, but I would rather be Asperger's to the maximum and just keep making failure jokes, because I'm tired of not having a script to the play that is life that everybody else seems to understand and have studied for, but I gotta wing it. You know what I'm talking about?
You could always be great at improv.
And?
What? I had nowhere to go with it.
And?
So I guess I'm shit at improv.
And? Number 11. That I am that friend. The one people only call when everyone else is busy. Ooh, nigga, it's getting real in this bitch. Ooh, so spicy. Sorry. Whoa. What was all of that fucking... That was like Filthy Frank jumped out of me for a second. I'm so sorry. You should have seen my body language too. I became like a gargoyle. I was like... Oh, nigga, you just got roasted. Here's the bottom line. Okay? If you're a man, you're gonna feel this from a woman, okay? Ladies have too many niggas on their agenda at the end of the day. Doesn't matter how attractive they are, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter how little they have going on in the personality department. Women have so much going on as far as suitors, that we will just call them men that are after them, that sometimes you're not going to get your attention. You unfortunately in most cases are one of many. So I like to say that this will happen to men way more than it will happen to women, because sometimes it feels like you're just going to be that person that they get around to if it's late and nobody else is awake, or if they're bored and the people that they would rather seek that attention for are not available. Do you know what I mean? Like, women are the types of people where when they don't get the attention, they just assume that it's because they're not as interesting or, high on the priority list as they could be. But men typically are in line, Like, these girls really do get that much attention where it's just like, yo, if she has to make a choice, if she were to even respond to everybody, she would have to choose an order, And it wouldn't necessarily be malicious, like she doesn't care about you, but dude, to really come to that realization that you are the leftovers when it pertains to like interaction in a friendly capacity, that's fucked up. And I hope that on nobody. Do you know what I mean? Because better to be lonely and have no one to talk to and have nothing going on than to fucking reach a point where you are somebody's backup, where you're going to fade just as quickly as you came under the spotlight because nobody else was available. Nothing else was found. That sucks.
No one deserves to be strung along or felt like they're not enough. Or feel like they're not enough for someone.
That's the bottom line. Hello everybody in the stream chat once again. Hope you guys are having fantastic evenings and that things just go well for you. I'll open up that chat in the video towards the end, but I need to get through these very quickly. So let's go ahead and get through the last 10 very quickly, the way that I'm sure some people would like for us to. What's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 10. As a young teenager celebrating New Year's with all the extended family, I noticed my great-grandfather celebrating with everyone else. It dawned on me that one day it might be me in his shoes, celebrating with my family. Yet virtually everyone celebrating with me in that future are total strangers to me now. And almost everyone I know and love around me now will be strangers or distant memories to those people I don't know yet, whom I will call family. That's something. Yeah, that's a thought. Wow, dude, come on, man. You got a birthday party standing there thinking of this shit? You know what I mean? I like to think of just like the Matrix scene where like everything around this guy falls and he's just like in a giant library of like, this is how the future may transpire. I'm like, holy shit. Oh my god. Numbers 9. The older you get.
Look like.
No, this isn't Stripes time. We save all of these Stripes comments for later. At the end of this list, which I know you got a billion of them.
I wonder what old Kyle will look like.
Number 9. The older you get, time seems to speed up. I recently bought my first house. And by recently, I mean 2015. It feels like it was yesterday that I bought it, and it's been 2 years already. Somebody says, our perception of time is logarithmic. It is indeed disturbing because from that perspective, assuming you're in your 20s, you already experience more than half of your life. And then somebody else says, explain that like I'm 5. And then somebody else says, aging from 1 to 2, you have to relive your entire life. From 2 to 3, only half of your life. From 20 to 25, only 1/4 of your life. Aging from 20 to 25 feels like the same thing as aging from 40 to 50, because that time is 1/4 of all you've ever lived. Getting from 7 to 8 is 1/7 of how long you've lived. This nigga is really, he fucked this up.
That's not how you explain things to 5-year-old.
Somebody else says, I could see how that would make sense to someone mathematically inclined, but as a neuroscientist who is also mathematically inclined, that's not really how memory works. If you remembered every bit of detail in your life, then this would be true. But because we forget things, the whole logarithmic perception is incorrect. The perception of life speeding up is because of routines, the routine of a job, a family, etc. If you were to live your whole life in college, where friends, classes, and routines change every 3 to 4 months, your life would feel a lot longer. When you get into a routine, your life disappears. In my opinion, everything is about a new experience. When we're younger, we have tons of new experiences. When we're older, we choose not to. If you were to be 20 to 25 and live in 5 different countries, time would not speed up, in my opinion. Somebody said I'm much less depressed now. Thank you. Bing bong. Number 8.
I still can't believe there was life before Overwatch, honestly. I can't think of
You know,
a year.
something's going to happen on the 11th. I'm super excited. I read that comic today. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah, I did. I liked it. I really like Mercy's outfit. I want to see that as a skin.
A lot of people like Mercy's outfit. I don't like Tracer's hat. Looks like a pilot stewardess hat. Seems stupid
Yeah,
as
it's
hell.
like a stewardess hat. It's like a
Guys,
stewardess.
please forgive that burp. I guess if you're the type of tightly wound broom up your ass person that's got a problem with me burping. It was kind of like I should have held it in or something. So, you know, common courtesy. I'll treat you guys like we're all in the same room, and I apologize for not, like, I guess, hiding it a little bit better, but it's just a human function. It's not like I farted like Stripes always does. What is the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 7. I read a book that blew my mind. The main character goes crazy when he realizes no one really knows him. But can you say that you really know yourself? Not to sidetrack this whole fucking conversation, but I always giggle when people say, do I know you? You know? And I say, man, I can't, I think to myself, I can't even say that I know myself, you know? Somebody pulls a gun on me right now, I'm not certain how I'd react, you know? People are crazy. And it's not just about how, like, you can react in a certain span of time. It's just about, like, you know, what is knowing yourself, knowing what you're into, knowing what music you like. Some people can't say they know that themselves because of a medical condition. You get what I'm saying, Stripes?
Well, things change from year to year, so...
Well, number 7. I read a book that blew my mind. The main character goes crazy when he realizes that no one really knows him. The gist is that the person you think of as yourself exists only for you. And even you don't really understand or know who that is. Every person you meet, have a relationship with, or make eye contact with on the street with creates a version of you in their heads. You're not the same person to your mom, your dad, or your siblings than you are to your coworkers, your neighbors, or friends. There are 1,000 different versions of yourself out there in people's minds. A you exists in each version, and yet your you, yourself, isn't really a someone at all. From Uno Nessuno Centomila by Luigi Pirandello. Oh, Luigi.
Can you say Perantenlo again?
No.
It's Perantenyo. There's 2 L's.
That's what I said. Did I say low?
Yes.
Suck my ass. You gonna do it?
No.
That's cute.
No, I don't suck ass. Oh, no.
I'm not into ass sucking. So, we're on the same page.
Or it either.
Good. Feel kind of weird now.
Why? What's wrong?
I don't know.
Just finally just getting away from you?
No, I just feel strange. Realization that's disturbing. Number 6. My wife and I realized that one of us will die before the other. Oh, really? Leaving the other alone for an indeterminate amount of time. You could both die in a car accident. Somebody said you might both die in a horrible fire. I'll upvote that, Somebody says, I like your optimism. Somebody said, that's the spirit. That's, spirit, the alcohol that they just dump on the ground so that the flames spread quicker. You know what I'm talking about? Spirits, alcohol. You get what I'm saying? Is that a joke? That's not funny. Nobody likes that.
Joke?
The cops aren't sitting in their car liking that. You know what I mean? Because it's not a fat chick that they can bang. I'm kidding. Cops don't bang fat chicks. God, stop saying fat chicks. I'm kind of into chubby chicks, I guess. I don't know.
You are absolutely into fat chicks, Kyle.
Shut up, Stripes. Where do you even come from with that kind of monkey balls? Just
maybe a little frumpy too.
Oh my god. Frumpy girls is what I'm into.
Frumpy fat chicks. As long as they don't got 2 chins, they're fine.
As long as they don't got 2 chins. Where do you get away with talking like that, Stripes? One day I'm gonna get you Cuphead and we're just gonna watch you play that game.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting that's a thing. Where is it?
What thing?
How am I gonna play it?
Look, shut up and let me get through this. This is killing me. What's the most disturbing realization you've come to? Number 5. My whole life I've always felt like I was searching for something or meant to do great things and just haven't found that something. I'm slowly starting to realize that there is a very good possibility that this may never be the case. I'm not sure how I feel about it either. Well, somebody responds. When I was a young man, I wanted to change the world. When I found I could not change the world, I tried to change my nation. When I found I could not change my nation, I tried to change my town. When I found I could not change the town, I tried to change my family. Now, as an old man, I realize the only thing I can change is myself. And suddenly I realized that if long ago I had changed myself, I could have made an impact on my family. My family and I could have made an impact on our town, and their impact could have changed the nation, and I could indeed have changed the world.
Is this where the whole we're all just dust in the wind comes from? Because it really makes me feel pretty insignificant.
All we are is dust in the wind. Oh! So you hear that fake ass vibrato that I got from just jiggling a little bit?
It sounded like you were playing a harmonica.
What song has harmonica in it?
I don't.
Just the Two of Us by Stevie Wonder. Is Just the Two of Us by Stevie Wonder?
Who's Stevie Wonder?
Who's Stevie Wonder? Oh my god, I gotta get rid of this girl. Just the Two of Us. Yes, it's by Bill Withers. Why am I thinking it's by Stevie Wonder? Then I'm thinking of another song. What's the name of that song that Stevie Wonder wrote for his daughter?
Oh wait, I remember you showed me that song a long ass time ago.
You don't know who Stevie Wonder is. Stevie Wonder's a black man that can sing. Ooh,
I
that boy
remember
can
him
sing.
now. I remember him.
We can make it if we
Let's
try. What song am I thinking of by Stevie Wonder? What song did he write for his daughter?
It makes
Isn't She Lovely? Isn't She Lovely?
Yeah.
That song has a harmonica in it. Isn't she lovely? Ooh. And then the harmonica's like that sounds like a harmonica?
Yes.
That's hilarious. Look, let's get through the rest of this list and stop thinking about Stevie Wonder songs that I remember because of the instrument in it, not because I could even remember the song. Isn't that impressive, Stripes? I knew that the song was by Stevie Wonder. I thought of the wrong song. I looked it up. It was by Bill Withers and then redone by Will Smith, probably to be singing it with his bitch ass son, fucking Jaden Monkey. Let's look at that Will Smith video right quickly and see if Jaden. No, I need to know. I need to know. See if I remember that properly. There go Will Smith, just the two of us. Let's mute the hell out of this video so we don't get copyright struck into the night. If I see a baby boy in this damn video, I'm gonna lose my mind. I already saw the baby, but that was a white baby, so I don't know about that. Let's just keep going. Hold up. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Hold on. That looks like a toy truck. I don't know. Oh my god, it's Jaden and Willow Smith. He made this stupid song for his kids. This was the beginning of these kids unleashed onto the world. The nightmare that is Jaden and Willow Smith.
So what's the point of doing it if there's two of them? When it's supposed to be like dad and kid, but there's three?
Will Smith don't have to curse in his songs to sell records.
He can't even sing. I don't think I've actually heard him sing, just rap.
This isn't about the kids singing, Stripes. Way to derail the list. This is your fault. You know what I mean?
It sounds like a harmonica.
This is why I can't wait to start doing those weird done animations. Like, guys, once again, not to plug this corny ass page that I started, but if you guys ever find something that you want me to read or think would be a good idea for me to read, you should go to this subreddit that I just started called Narrated and just dump something there that you think might be a good idea. Because after that stream I did the other day where I was reading creepy shit, I was thinking I would love to read more creepy things that weren't overdone by all the other creepy narrator douches. But, you know, typically that kind of stuff would probably have to be sent in. So, go about that. To revisit the list, the question being asked is, what's the most disturbing realization you've come to? So let's go ahead and crank on into this monkey balls. Number 5, my whole life... Wait, I read this, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Number 4, every time you hear about someone escaping from captivity after years of abuse, I realize there are still some people being held that we don't know about and may never know about. It's pretty scary, isn't it? There are people being held hostage and tortured right now. You know? And not like just physically tortured. Maybe there are people who have been mentally brainwashed or indoctrinated. There are people existing in a cult. There are people existing on a compound right now where they may not dream of escaping because they favor their chances of being able to survive, to live, better than trying to escape and perhaps losing their life because death scares people. And just like I asked earlier in the stream, people would take 50 years of life over 50 years of people remembering their name or some shit like this. You know what I mean? That's a terrifying realization, is that these people are out there right now. Do you remember that story from a while back where like these 3 ladies were trapped? And I think this dude must have picked them up when they were little girls out of school or something like this?
No, yeah. He was a school bus driver, I think.
Holy shit, Stripes. And he holding these kids underground? In like his bullshit basement? Jesus Christ.
I think it's one then.
We want to live a life where we feel like, you know, people will hear the screams, but that's just not the case all the time. That is just not the case. I feel so bad. It's breaking my heart to think that people are right now are trapped somewhere. Oh, poor people. Number 3 here. What's the most disturbing realization? Number 3, my 3 brothers' birthdays are all within 3-week range. One day, I did the math and subtracted 9 months and realized the epicenter of their birthdays was 9 months and 2 days after Dad's birthday. So they were the result of birthday sex. Adorable. Number 2.
Wasn't this already here?
For the most part, like it was kind of like that answer, but not the same. Number 2, that as I get older, the people and things I've admired are going away and not existing anymore. Szechuan sauce. Okay. Somebody said no threat is safe. No threat is safe. That's funny, man. The whole internet is exploding. We can only hope at this point as content creators to, if not be involved in something. You know, be a writer on a project that gets as much fucking traction as Rick and Morty is getting right now. The number one response in the "what's the most disturbing realization you've come to" thread is this: that the text you sent to that girl might come off as douchey. Maybe you should send another text to clear up the potential misunderstanding. Oh God, you made it worse. And the cycle continues. That's how you end up on cringe. That's how you end up on our cringe. You know what our cringe is all about?
No, I've never been.
You've never been to our cringe? Let's go to our cringe right now. See if we can find some kind of conversation. Text message conversation. Wow, I don't see anything like that.
Dude, you should totally read that that Uber lady thing right now.
I'll make my own video about that though.
No, just do it now.
No, I'm really tired of you trying to... Whoa, did Cringe Pics get deleted?
Well, I guess it's...
There was a line through it. Oh, here's Cringe Pics is better then. I'll subscribe to Cringe Pics. Straight dimes, haha. I don't know what this is. So a dude says, "You single?" Yes. Well, fuck. Want to hang out? Not really, to be honest. Oh, thank God. When I wake up sober tomorrow, I'm going to thank you. No offensive, but I must be on this level 10 fucked up if I'm hitting you up. LOL. I mean, you have seen the girls I've been with. Straight dimes, haha. I should stop drinking. Okay. Well, there's a cringeworthy text message transaction right there. And here's another one in case you're still hungry. Why are you so perfect? And then they say, I wonder what it's gonna take to get you to reply. Who are you? Justin. Jeez, you sound annoyed. Why are you trying to get my attention? Because you're gorgeous as fuck. Okay? Why would I want to? You got good taste. You're hot. You're hot. And IDK my dream girl. Wow.
I don't want any more.
Dude, this guy knows how to talk to ladies, okay? Here's another one. The Wonders of Grindr. This is that gay app. You know what I mean?
Oh, stop.
Though you told me to block you. Block me, cunt. Come suck my big cock. I can host tonight. So, nah, you're better off looking for others. Ugh. Fuck me. Oh God, guys. You know, all I want to do once again is post my what?
I bet there's some gay men that are all about you, pretending to be women.
Well, yeah, there are gay men that are pretending to be women trying to catfish my ass. They live their life that way. Why do you care?
I guess I don't.
Why?
Because they ain't got you.
Well, if they ain't got me, then they ain't got nothing. That's a song. Do you know that song?
No, I don't know that song.
You should know that song because it's novelty enough to have probably occurred in some trash, like a fucking Shrek sequel. Guys, I just posted a link to my Reddit page. Oh my God! I just accidentally posted a link to the freaking Amazon wish. I'm kidding. But since there are people here and since we're not dying yet, I kind of just wanted to quickly go over why I haven't been releasing a lot of lists lately. My microphone broke recently in a very inopportune, unfortunate spot as far as I'm concerned. It broke in the part where the USB actually plugs into the microphone, and trying to bend things back to where they needed to go would only result in them snapping off. There's really no way to fix it outside of, I guess, in the future, because I'm ordering the same mic, to have it very secure inside its socket, not moving around, because that can kind of bend up what's going on in there, and there's only one way for me to plug in and get that mic any power. So unfortunately, the mic is in great condition, it's just the plug is compromised, and you know, maybe there's a replacement part, but you know, I just got a new one and we're just going to try to be careful. On top of that, the lists that, you know, are here, they're not necessarily bad lists, but they're just like, if I try to go down 20 deep, a lot of them, are jokes. A lot of them are one-liners. A lot of them are just weird. So I'd love to read, I would say, what's a good amount? Like 5, 6 stripes from some of these?
You want a lightning round it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So look at this one at the bottom. It says, "You're not a serial killer. You're a serial inconveniencer. What do you do to people?" How the fuck would I put that in a YouTube video? Like, what the fuck? So here's the top 6. Why not? Press every button I come across. The lift going up to the 50th floor, stopping at every floor. Every pedestrian crossing button, press it. Every doorbell to people's apartments, press it. Like, why? Unplug people's cell phones in the early of the night after they have fallen asleep. I remember this one. I was going to read all of it, but at the end of it, it says, log into your Reddit account and make a post that leads nowhere and have other people's waste a small part of their day reading it. So yeah, all of this was just him trying to get us to read his bullshit comment. Number 3 is, for some reason I keep finding uncooked rice in my shoes. I don't have rice in my house, nor do I work at some sort of rice plant, so I have no idea how it keeps getting in there, but it's really annoying and inconvenient, so I'd start putting uncooked rice in people's shoes. And my favorite is the response to this comment that says, "Are you sure it's not insect eggs?" That would make my day if it was. Number 2, ask a question during movies where said question is being answered by the movie, so the person you're watching it with has to rewind. Endless loop.
Oh my god, that's why you hate watching movies with me.
I'm glad you said it, Stripes. I'm glad you said it. I can't believe it made you laugh, Stripes, because that's so you. I'm so glad that you're so humble that you can recognize that. A lot of women may not come to terms with that kind of crap, but you laughed because that's who you are. And I'm literally like, go over your fucking watch the fucking movie. Oh no. No.
Are you okay?
Well, it didn't land on anything.
Did you drop something?
Just some Malta bottles. Well, yeah, no, it's you. Okay.
I don't think I've ever had the Malta you have around your room. Is it any good?
Malta is very good, but I recently got a pack of a shitload of them from Costco, and the brand that I picked up is very lame. It's very it just doesn't taste carbonated like it should. I'm used to drinking Malta. What?
Is it like a chocolate drink?
No, it's difficult to describe what Malta is. The number one in the you're not a serial killer, you're an inconveniencer one is carry a small bottle of syrup like Canadian and pour it into many hands. No, pour it into my hands and touch everything I come across. Doors, handles, phones, sinks, and soap dispensers. Ugh. I just hope it makes it apparent why some of these lists don't get read. Do you know what I mean? What job exists because we're stupid? I work in a burn unit. Don't put accelerants on campfires. Okay, yeah. What? Are any of these... Look. We should have just called it as to what's interesting to Stripes. Because she's a great blanket for people to understand what's best.
I'm glad you think I'm such a great blanket.
A wet blanket.
I don't ruin anyone's fun.
Now, stop me when you hear a list that you think would be interesting. Police officers, cops of Reddit who have solved paranormal cases. What actually happened? Do you think that would be interesting?
Haven't we?
No, we didn't. We tried to read that one starting from 27. Do you remember? And it was a fucking nightmare. So then we tried to read it starting from number 17, and they were all fucking terrible. They were so bad, Stripes. They were so bad. Someday maybe I'll upload those videos of us trying to get through that list as an extras list. But oh my god, it was unbearable. But do you want me to try reading the top 3?
Yes.
Okay, let's get in there. So once again, police officers and cops of Reddit who have solved paranormal cases getting calls because of paranormal disturbances. What actually happened? Okay. The top comment reads, I work on a university. I got a 3 a.m. call of a haunted dorm room. Girls were in tears. They Googled instructions for a home exorcism, made homebrew holy water, crosses and photos of Jesus plastered all over the walls. They said that they would hear things like footsteps, a child's laughter, a whispering voice saying, "Hey, can you hear me?" As we interviewed them, we heard it once. They screamed and burst into tears. Their, resident assistant, bless his heart, tried to help by offering the advice that at least the ghost wasn't threatening or malicious and probably meant us no harm. We asked him to leave rather than feed into the whole hysteria. Took us a while to pin down where it was coming from. But to make a long story short, someone took one of those novelty motion activated prank things and stuck it to the inside of one of the bed frames. When we were done, we asked the girls if they minded if we disposed of the thing, to which they enthusiastically agreed, and we promptly hid it in our dispatcher's locker and watched the cycle continue. Photos of Jesus. That's really good.
Have you seen this one picture of Jesus, except under the robe he's a spaghetti monster?
You think flying spaghetti monster is Jesus in disguise?
No.
It's a pretty interesting picture, though. I wonder if Jesus would have an Instagram. Yeah, just saving some juice. You know how it is, brah. Gotta hit some waves. You think Jesus would be a good surfer? Why did I turn Jesus into a surfer? That was my immediate go-to with the accent. That was very strange.
He's got long hair. He wears sandals, and he's just like he's got nowhere to be.
Mesh Alamu says, "I sleep on your videos every night." He's a big fan from Saudi Arabia. I appreciate that. I didn't know I had Saudi Arabian fans. That's really cool. On top of that, if you really want to help me out, put the playlist for some of my lists on in a background window and just mute it, and then have that play throughout the night. Oh my god. If I could get like at least 100 people doing that, I'd be able to make like $16. Yeah, think about it.
I'd like to think YouTube has something in place where you stop making money if they start to think you're up to something.
YouTube
like
doesn't know what the fuck going on. And even if I were to blatantly and vocally describe my plans, how the fuck could they get down on it when I'm burying the things I'm saying in 3-hour-long videos that I'm recording on like a 5 times a week basis? Do you think it's some idiot's job that work at YouTube to go through all of Kyle's shit? Because I would be making his fucking life a living hell. Your existence is listening to me. The CIA's doing it, the NSA is doing it, and now they're having to put somebody on me that works at YouTube to listen to this dribble. Not that it's bad, it's just that it's not up the alley of the guy that works at YouTube. He doesn't want to do this, He'd probably be watching some video by some asshat that's doing like reaction videos to Instagram shit, Oh man, look at this shark coming up out of the water. Wow. Oh my gosh. That's the type of content that he wants, not genuinely interesting perspectives into other people's lives, Like, this is that chronic. This is that good shit. But not everybody is the same. Not everybody wants that good shit. And that's unfortunate. So number 2, worked mental health assignments for a few years, had a call from a family of a man running around naked all around the neighborhood, screaming that he had been abducted and had the knowledge of the ages or some such nonsense. We get there and get the guy contained and clothed and start trying to get some type of story out of him, beside him being just out of his mind. He mentions that he received a large court settlement the week before from a work-related injury, and that's why the aliens took him, for his money. It's not super uncommon for there to be some truth to these stories, so we go to the guy's wife to talk to her. She confirms that he had in fact received a very large settlement a week prior. No history of drug use, no history of mental illness. He just lost it. She then proceeds to ask us how she can go about accessing the money legally, since he obviously had gone off the deep end. That's a little strange. We take the guy to the hospital and they do their normal panel of tests. Turns out the guy had a near fatal dose of some type of poison, I can't remember what it was, which generally will kill you. Detectives got involved and the wife ends up getting arrested for attempted murder. The guy made a full recovery too, thank God. That wife bitch tried to kill this guy for complete access of his money, which she was in no way even like hiding the fact that that he took. Can you believe that?
I hate people. Honestly, it's really terrible. Getting old is gonna get scary.
Getting old is already scary. Number 3's
Why,
been
do you
deleted.
feel
Must
it?
have been juicy as a motherfucker, huh?
What's juicy as a motherfucker?
Number 3 was deleted, and Poem for Your Sprog actually did one of his bullshit poems about it. And we don't even know what it is.
Well, at least it's got a poem, so there's a little more insight than usual. Take it away. So you're not gonna read it?
Nope.
Okay.
Number 25? No, wait, not number 25. It has 25,000. Remember, I want you to stop me because these are after we've actually done the actual list. So these are just like extra. I almost want to say extracurricular lists. But look, what do you find interesting enough that? Okay, so here's another one. What's the pettiest reason you won't date someone? Reddit. What's your favorite dead YouTube channel? Fuck that one. What's the most disturbing realization you've come to? It sounds so familiar, doesn't it? What is the dumbest rule your school ever had? What are your just to be safe habits? What job exists because we're... What?
Wait, no, read that one.
Okay.
No.
No. No, what though? Are your just to be safe habits?
I just want to read more titles, a little more. I think I want that one, but
Let's stop. No. Stripe said she thought that she wanted this one. Guys, I'm so excited to bestow upon you if I could make one Ask Reddit thread the example and reason as to why at some points it seems like I'm not uploading videos. This is why, okay? On Reddit, typically, they will ask questions that do not elicit responses that are in any way fucking interesting. You know what Reddit does? Sometimes they ask a question that's the type of question you'd ask on Family Feud. So if you're not familiar with what Family Feud is, it's just a stupid ass show where they ask a lot of dumbass questions, and the point of the game is not to answer in an interesting way or bring anything weird to the table. It's to answer what you think most people would answer, okay? So imagine if I asked a question like, what's something that you do in the morning, you know? People, imagine the Reddit thread with that. There would be people just upvoting the comment, wake up. There'd be brushing your teeth. They'd be maybe having some breakfast, you know, maybe combing your hair, you know, taking a shower. These would be the answers. Now, if I were to make a fucking YouTube video with that kind of shit, would that be fucking interesting out the ass? Would you be dying to listen to some shit like that? So I present to you, okay, the reason that you don't see more daily Ask Reddit list videos out of me, and here is why: because of threads like, what are your just to be safe habits? Coming in at number 1.
I gotta say, that was a pretty long intro.
Double tapping my pockets to make sure I have my keys, wallet, and phone before I go when I leave my place.
Well, that's wholesome.
Coming in at number 2, I pull up my shirt when I'm taking a crap. I've never pooped on my shirt tail, but I'll do it just to be safe. Coming in at number 3, every time I leave a public place I've been sitting at, like a table at a restaurant, I turn around and look to make sure I haven't left anything before walking away. In my friend circle, everyone just gets up and leaves, and I've picked up more phones and pairs of sunglasses for people than I can count. Number 4, anytime a conference call is over, always press the end call button a billion times before starting to talk. Number 5, I always double or triple check when I send someone a link. Number 6, somebody gilded that. Somebody paid $5 for that fucking post. Number 6, as I walk in the city, I sway my arm so that it rubs my wallet in my pockets a couple of seconds so I'll instantly know if I've been pickpocketed. This is a good one. Number 7, when I'm exiting a video game, I save it once, then twice, then 3 times a lady. Fuck this list, Stripes. You know what I mean? Fuck that list.
guess
What's your
so.
just to be safe habit? You know what I mean? So that, and like some guys like, sometimes when I go outside, I make sure that I do a little, breath check. And even though I brushed my teeth this morning, I go back inside and I just swish my mouth out with a little bit of Listerine because the last thing I want to do is have some bad breath. That's what I do just to be safe. Haha.
I might be out of a job. Not that you pay me.
Jesus Christ.
I got a soundboard. This shit's hilarious. All right. What job exists because we're stupid? Which celebrity would it break your heart to discover is secretly an asshole?
I heard that Bruce Campbell is a diva.
Yeah, I bet.
Man, I don't care. Teachers, what's that one? Teachers who have had students. Oh, you've done this, I think.
Teachers who have had students. No, I don't think I ever did this. Teachers who have had students that stubbornly believed easily disprovable things. How did you handle it? This sounds like a good list, though.
No, I think you've done this before.
I definitely haven't. I remembered marking it to do in the future. Damn, this is a big story. But it's been gilded 6 times, so it may be worth the read. Okay?
It's just, I remember something about a kid not really understanding the solar system all that well.
If you open your mouth one more fucking time and make it apparent that you think again that I did something that I definitely didn't do, I am going to force you to put money on the fact that you're wrong. Because I think you know Kyle well enough to know when he knows what he's talking about. So Stripes, why don't you just give me $10 right now? Because I know we haven't done this one. Do you think that we've done it? Because I'm letting you know that you're recalling something similar to the context topic of this list, but it's not the specific list. Don't let the upvote fool you. This was 4 days ago. So do you think in the last 4 days is the question that you've got to ask? If we read anything that had to do with any kids, getting disapproved by their teachers, the answer is no. Not in the last 4 days. If the topic is a recurring topic, yes. Did we do this? No, Stripes. And that's logic for you. But you might as well put money on it. You know what I'm talking about? You might as well put money on it.
You just talked me out of putting money to it when you said 4 days ago. So
Yeah.
I guess you're
Why didn't you fucking believe me? How about that shit? Got me out here wiggling desks and shit. You feel me? I really don't like this Kyle not believing monkey balls that happens. How about that? What just fell on the damn
Would you
ground?
say it steers you away from me a little bit more?
No, ass. Because I know that you're trying to trigger me all the fucking time on this bullshit. You know what I'm talking about? So shut the Number 1, okay? A little backstory. My dissertation research was, in a nutshell, inside of a nutshell, I hate this guy already, about teaching middle school kids what working in science is really like. Basically, we found that middle schoolers often think that science is about memorizing a bunch of facts and formulas. Many don't know it's a process of discovery and an investigation and creativity. So we wanted to teach them that. A bunch of stuff we went into but part of it was having them do 2 projects, each of which was about explaining some observable phenomenon. This first was a fish kill in a local lake. A fish kill? There were thousands of fish suddenly turning up dead. The second was a record-setting high temperature in Georgia the past 20 years. In each, they would gather information, talk to experts, do experiments where possible. Sorry. And build evidence-backed explanations of what they could argue was the cause. Sounds logical. A strong emphasis was placed on supporting those models with evidence. Okay? There was a student in one of the classes who was super engaged with the first project. He was asked lots of questions. He built different possible explanations. He was really into it. When he got to the second project, though, I noticed that he was basically refusing to do anything. I asked him why, and he said his family didn't believe in global warming, so he wasn't doing the project. I told him he didn't have to believe in global warming. The project wasn't to explain global warming. The project was to explain a very objective, observable phenomenon. Recorded temperature in Georgia has been setting record highs. If he wanted to try and build a theory for that didn't include global warming, he was welcome to, as long as he defended it with sufficient evidence. His face absolutely lit up. I had basically just told him that he had free reign to build a competing theory, and he was back into it. I checked back with him at the end of the project. His response then was basically, I get why they believe in global warming, but I still don't think there's a better explanation. He said that his first idea hadn't worked out, but that he had another one. That was a huge pivot from where he had been. He wasn't embracing the established theory yet, but he had looked at the evidence, he had processed why the evidence supported a certain theory, and he had used the ground to attempt to disprove that theory. Who are all these people that fucking gilded this? This is boring as fuck.
Some people are really into science.
It's just long-winded and overly analytical. You and I love fucking Star Trek, but it doesn't mean that show's boring as hell like this is, dude. It's like a play in space is what it is. And they wouldn't just spend an entire episode in fucking engineering with Geordi going, oh, the calibrators aren't doing, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Shut up. Is this like ending in a wholesome way where it's just like, and he opened his eyes and allowed himself to prove things with data instead of just, oh my God. Thank God we never ended up reading this as a list. Are you kidding me? Let's get the comment section in here so we can start. What?
Is this some kind of statement? Your 1 second upload you just did like an hour ago?
It was accidental. If there was an upload recently, it was accidental.
Oh, I thought you were being cheeky.
I was not.
Well, now I just ruined my own illusion.
Alright, there it is. There's the chat. I'm going to go ahead and throw that over here.
Oh, yeah. I think a few people have been banned, and I'm not sure why. But I'm sure they deserved it.
Yeah, they deserved it. Considering Lexaeus was the one that did it, Lexaeus could ban everybody in the freaking party in the chat, and I would assume that there was a reason behind it. So, you know, guy knows what he's doing. Never going to question him. That's that. We should get out of this one, though, because it really did kill me. This one killed me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It must have been really for some other crowd that's not you or I. Or... No, I don't think it was for anyone.
Oh, this one looks interesting. What do you think will look barbaric about us to people in the future? Right? Right? That looks good. What do you think will look barbaric about us to people in the future, the way we look at barbaric things in the Dark Ages? Like trends and, you know, things that are socially acceptable right now? You don't think that's interesting?
It's just going to be memes, Kyle.
You don't know that it's going to be memes. It can't be all memes. You know? It can't just be different neat memes. Layering the whole fucking list. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. Okay? Number 1, dig our garbage into the ground and leave them there. We do that right now.
Landfills.
You know? We dig our garbage into the freaking ground, and that's crazy. Number 2, recently read an article about the unexpected side effect of Alzheimer's drug. It was causing the participants' dentine to grow back. So a dentist could hollow out a new cavity, but instead of then putting a filling in, this new medication is applied and the tooth grows back. I think in like 100 years, people won't get fillings or even root canals. They'll just regrow the dentine. And wonder how we dealt with metal fillings or getting a tooth filled down to a stub. Wow.
Oh, that's wow. Cool. So like when all your teeth fall out because you're old, you can just grow them back in?
Lexaeus says, I wouldn't be surprised if cell phones isn't somewhere on that list. And he's right, because maybe in the future we'll have some kind of implant, you know? Because the government, the CIA and NSA would really love to get into our fucking brains. And remember we were reading about them exploring the technology of something that could like read, like, okay, when people think, apparently, they kind of mouth in their you know, they kind of mouth what they're saying in their vocal cords.
Sure.
And apparently, like, they were trying to develop technology to try and like read vocal cords even if the mouth isn't moving to try and read a person's thoughts. You know? So if they're trying that bad, you know what I mean, Stripes? Then they would just want an implant straight up in us so that, you know, the CIA could swoop down and hit us with that Minority Report style. He's gonna commit a crime, but I haven't done anything yet. But you're gonna, bruh.
So it's very literal thought crimes then.
Thought crimes? Okay. What's going to be barbaric to people in the future? Number 3. I'm pretty sure it would have something to do with toilet paper. If you see toilets with laser removal disinfectant systems in the future, you heard it here first.
You know,
lasers on your butthole. That's not one place that I'm
you don't want a laser on your butthole?
Number 4. Clothes manufacturing. We basically have slaves in Asia making our clothes. That's one of the funniest things that Flight of the Conchords ever sang about, you know? Wait.
I don't think I got that far.
We're turning kids into slaves just to make cheaper sneakers. But what's the real cost? Because the sneakers don't seem that much cheaper, you know? We're turning kids into slaves just to make cheaper sneakers. But what's the real cost? Because the sneakers don't seem that much cheaper. Why are we paying so much for sneakers when you know you're made by little slave kids? What are your overheads? And that's why we're saying why. What is wrong with the world today? What's wrong with the world today? There's not even any lyrics there. You just kind of mumbles. That's great. I love it. Now, number 5.
You know, at first I was mad that there was going to be a bunch of memes, but now I'm mad there aren't any.
Now you're mad that there's not enough memes. Not enough memes on the list for Stripes. Number 5. Not having resealable bags or for boxed cereal. What are we, in the dark ages? That's a real weird question, that the bags for our cereal ain't resealable. Isn't that weird? What's it gonna cost these niggas to reseal? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't even really deal with cereal bags. We just put them in those little, like, containers. The ones that are made for cereal. Why can't they come in date?
You put cereal in containers?
Yeah, there's like specific Tupperware that's made for cereal. It looks like a cereal box, but you can open and close it.
Zeldautry in the stream chat just now said that he spends his time on Reddit going over things. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and, I don't mean to plug it. I just want to put this here. Well, it looks like somebody has already made a post there, and that's very cool. It's very interesting.
Can we look at it now?
Well, he says, I don't think this is what you're asking for, but the website contains catalogs of creatures and items contained by an organization. If you don't know, is this SCP or whatever?
Yes, it is.
It is fucking SCP. It's overdone. And he should know that this is not what I'm looking for, specifically because it's been overdone so hard. And this is kind of like the criteria that I'm looking for. Like, I'm not demanding that it be new, I'm just demanding that it not be beaten to death. I do appreciate whoever posting this, taking the time to do it and, throwing something over there. I'm glad and appreciative that you took the look. But I guess, yes, if my criteria needs to be clarified, it's that it's something that kind of hasn't been beaten into the ground already.
Yeah, there's channels. There's at least 5 channels that I can think of right now that dedicate their whole thing to this. Just reading these, expanding the lore.
Oh, God. Look, number 6, something that will be viewed as barbaric in the future. Dentistry. There has to be a better way. I just love this guy. He hates going to the dentist. So do I. Lisa, I'm going to make you more comfortable by showing you the tools I'll be using today. This is the scraper. This is the poker. And this happy little fellow is the gouger.
Where's that from? That's from something.
It's from Simpsons. He said Lisa right there.
Oh my God.
You don't remember that episode? It's such a great episode. And then Ralph is in the chair and he's all like, why do you turn my office into a den of lies? And he's like, stop! Oh my God, Ralph was so perfect back then. Like, for real. I need to open up because I think I have a screenshot from that episode. That's how much Simpsons I watched, and I'm constantly taking screenshots of shit. And If I don't have a picture of Ralph in that chair, then I fucked up.
Yes,
I
yes,
do have it. Look at that. I got the picture of Ralph in the chair. Like, that's the doctor, and he's like, "Why, dude?" And then he's like crying. That's great.
You used this for a thumbnail, not the one in crime, the one with the doctor.
This one?
No, the other. You should use this one too, though. Use the other one.
Use which other one? The one with him crying with his hands in his face?
No, where it's just like on his face and he's really intense.
This guy?
Yeah, that one. He used it for a thumbnail once.
Oh my god. It's just crazy. You know, if I ever do watch that rabbit thing, I have no reason just not to sit through an entire episode of The Simpsons.
But, like, what if you fall asleep and for 4 hours people just hear you snore while they're watching The Simpsons like I do?
What, you think that's, like, exclusive to you? You know how many times I've fallen asleep on Queen or Emily? I fell asleep on Emily today. I fell asleep on Emily today. We were watching Rick and Morty because I'm trying to get her through Rick and Morty episodes, and I was just like, you know what I mean? It was just like that. Made the mistake of lying down. I took a couple bites of something, and then I fell asleep after eating like a fucking animal.
I thought that was you and
This image is illegal in Russia? Oh, God. Why are they messing with Putin so hard? Did you see that gay one this morning? There was something gay as hell this morning on the front page. I know what was hell. I don't know what was going on. It was the gayest thing I'd ever seen. Petty revenge. I don't have any links for the front page of Reddit. Let me see top. Come on. This is the one. Just gay. Reposting this picture is now officially considered extremism in Russia, punishable by 5 years in prison. Because it insinuates that Putin is gay. Look at all that makeup. Ooh.
Who's the guy on the right?
I don't fucking care. I don't know. Lexeus says, I gotta get out of here, guys. It's been a fun chat. Love you, Kyle. Take it easy, Lexeus. You have a great evening, day, afternoon. Hope you get some rest and hope you relax. You deserve that. You deserve that. What? Rebecca says, I have that You Will Be a Dentist song from Little Shop of Horrors stuck in my head. We need to rewatch Little Shop of Horrors because I don't remember shit about that movie. Do you?
No, I don't. I haven't seen it. I've never seen it.
Yep, Stripes hasn't seen anything, so it's always fun. It's always a fun thing to do.
I would love it if someday you picked up another comic to narrate, especially a Silver Surfer one.
It's free real estate.
What's barbaric in the future? People driving cars without computer assistance. The annual car accident death toll will be viewed as barbaric once automated driving is enforced sometime out in the future. Can't wait for that. Nukes? Hopefully that kind of shit as it becomes the past. The way we treat the mentally ill. Many homeless are in jail. Treatment is not great. Hospital stays are usually no more than a week. It's a scary thing to think about, you know what I mean? Imagine being homeless and just wanting a roof over your head and something to eat, 3 meals a day, meals more than you would be getting otherwise, and you just go out and you do shit, you know, like you pissing on a cop car, you jacking off in front of people, just so they can put you in, you know?
I never thought of it that way.
Life is hard for people. Life is hard for some people.
I never had the perspective where jail might just be the best alternative for someone that has nowhere to go.
Yep. Imagine a life like that, Stripes, where jail is the preferable alternative. It's better than starving. You do get showers, you do get a roof, and you do get meals. You also have medical help, Stripes, that you otherwise wouldn't. You can go get checked up, you know? America's a scary place again. You know, I was joking earlier. One of the rudest things that I said was how, you know, remember when they were talking about just buying the plates and how it treated all those poor Indian kids. We're talking about rich people and how all rich people are typically thinking about is how to minimize their expenses so that they can make more money, not how they can help any other people below them, you know. And I was making the joke about how
minimize expenses, maximize profit.
No, I was saying, I was making the joke about how, you know, they got to buy another mansion for their dog. I feel like the people who should be most ashamed are not the people who are born into wealth because they don't know any other life and they're pretty ignorant in that capacity. But the people who started off poor, you know, maybe they got a deal, you know, maybe they got their shit out. Like imagine like one of my things goes to the front page of Reddit. Hey, let's share something crazy with you guys. Okay. Recently, today, Stripes, I did a story on petty revenge.
Yes.
Yeah, I narrated a petty revenge story. And
then?
The guy that made the post edited my narration into his post. They deleted that shit so fast, Stripes. They deleted that shit so fast. What?
Okay, so a moderator stepped in or the guy deleted himself?
A moderator.
Oh no.
Just like TIFU. It's not that they're on to me, Stripes, because I think something is going on with the admins with Reddit that makes it so that either narration on my part or narration in general is genuinely not allowed across most subreddits that have been compromised. What does that mean? Compromised. Compromise means where the mods can't call the shots because the admins are aware of their page. That's all the admins need to be, is aware, you know? And usually the admins aren't aware of pages that, have under a certain amount of followers because they got bigger shit going on. You know what I mean? But as soon as they get a little bit of awareness, bruh, they get to just step in and do whatever the fuck they want. Homie, like there's no rules for them. They can edit posts. You know what I'm talking about? It's real shit. It's real shit. But I don't know, man. I just want to be able to have my little bit of fun on the internet. I happen to be one of those assholes that, doesn't believe in safe spaces and hates the way everybody gets so easily triggered and what?
Yeah.
What?
Sorry to go off topic, but I think you should. Oh no, he deleted it. Never mind.
Who deleted what?
The person that posted on narration deleted his post after what you said.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I upvoted the guy's post just to let him know that I appreciated it. And he deleted it. Again, I was just saying that
what I wanted to say is
I think he said thank you for taking a look at least. No problem. Love you, Kyle. I mean, again, trust me, even I was familiar with it. You know when I am familiar with what it was, and I'm like a grandpa that has little to nothing to do with a lot of shit. You did it right, You submitted something. Whether I chose yes or no is irrelevant. You put it out there, and I was gonna look. So thank you for being the first post to christen this page, this narrated page.
I was going to suggest that you not humor him, but just read something randomly from it. Because I think there's a randomize button where you can just pull something up. And if it's good or bad, and it's probably going to be bad.
Oh my god, shut up, Stripes. You're in love with these fucking assholes. Whatever. I'm not calling them an asshole. What? I'm just saying.
Asshole
I'm not
in love with Kyle.
The assholes of shaved cats that have no hair to buffer its puckery butt when it sits down on stuff. Okay?
Yeah, I want cat kissy marks on my arms.
Cat kissy marks? It's an ass suction.
Yeah.
Look. Where's the random button you're talking about? And see it?
Well, I guess I didn't. I just assumed it worked like any other wiki, if it's like a wiki.
Oh my god.
My bad.
Is this Stripes, don't do. Why are you doing this to me?
Is it like a strand of hair?
I don't know what. It says SCP-1034 consists of a rusted semicircular suture needle 5 centimeters in cord length and a spool consisting of twine approximately 1 millimeter thick. If the thread is removed from the needle... What the fuck? If the thread is removed from the needle, a second spool appears with the end of the twine threaded through the eye of SCP-1034. This only occurs when the needle is not under direct or recorded observation. SCP-1034 was discovered and filed as evidence by the Something PD pursuant to the arrest of serial killer Redacted. Agents were alerted to the possible anomalous activity with blank PD forensics agent was found dead in the same manner of the victim of the serial killer, despite the latter being held in custody. Initial founder interviews with the redacted serial killer described SCP-1034 and its effects in some detail, allowing the safe retrieval. Redacted was later recruited as D3826 and interviewed a second time. The contents of the second interview are displayed in addendum.
Is any of this making sense to you?
When the skin or blood of a human makes contact with SCP-1034, the subject loses control of all voluntary bodily functions except facial muscles, lungs, and vocal cords. Okay, yeah, that allows them to scream, breathe, and make funny faces. The subject then begins suturing all facial orifices. Okay, that's enough. Suturing? What?
We tried. You tried.
Rebecca says, I want Kyle to adopt me and guide me through how America works. Yeah, just bounce her on my knee as my little Morty. Oh, Kyle! I don't like the look of all of this out here. Oh, it's okay, my little Morty. I gotta work on my Rick. Later.
So,
guys, what?
No. What I've come to the realization is the best Rick you can make is when you're actually stretching out.
No, I could do it if I were standing. Like, the way in which I record is not the way in which I can voice act, believe it or not.
All I'm saying is that you should try and touch your toes while talking like Rick.
Attractive teachers of Reddit, did you know which students had a crush on you? And what is the strangest or most inappropriate thing one has ever said to you? Holy shit, this is a real list right here. How did I miss this? Bing bong. This whole list is like a trap. It's a genuine trap. Let's see where they bottom out. I think if posts dip below like 5,000, you know what I mean? Then they're bottoming out. Yeah.
Okay.
By 10, it's already at
could it possibly be? I want one that's actually an attractive man.
Let's just read the top one and ruin it. Somebody says, young male middle school teacher here. I know quite a few of them who have a crush on me. There's a new fad where they tell each other's secrets and say, ooh, exposed. Since when did snitching become popular? Anyway, I always get told who has a crush on me. And quite often some of the girls will drop by to leave their athletic bags or instruments, etc. in the classroom, and they bring their friends in with them. He probably gets a lot of blowjobs. When they leave, I always hear comments like, I wish I had him as my teacher. My top 3 worst incidents. 1, I had a girl come in at lunch. She told me, Mister, I like you, knowing full well what she meant. I tried to play it off and said as nonchalant as I could, I like you too. You're a great student. She was like, no. Listen to me. I really like you. I couldn't believe the tenacity. 2, another student asked me to take a picture with her towards the end of the school year. I obliged, and the last day she printed it out and gave it to me with her Instagram on the back and the message about how cute I was. What the fuck? Number 3, a girl found my Facebook and saved my picture as the background to her phone. What the fuck? Holy shit. I deleted my Facebook promptly afterwards. If only I could get that kind of attention from girls my own age. Fuck girls your own age, bro. I'm kidding. But he really should literally fuck the girls his own age. How about that? What do you mean?
Teenagers are scary. Teenage women are scary.
No, but teenagers are at the most intense point in their life because those feelings are perhaps like the most chemical and most potent that they will be hormonally over our entire existence. They're feeling the peak of their existence, not just because they haven't felt these feelings before, which is a big part of it, but because they'll never probably feel it with such intensity as they do right now. And even if they were to feel it that intensely at a later point in their life, they would probably have other balls in the air that they need to juggle, other shit going on, other things on their plate, to speak metaphorically. But now that they're kids and they ain't got shit going on because they ain't got nothing to do but wake up in the morning and eat some food and go to that school. Sorry, God, I don't know, I'm sorry. I seem to have lost control of myself. Dude, we should end this, and I should end with like some kind of song. You know?
No, it's just I'm so surprised there's more than one guy.
Okay, fine. Number 2. I was not attractive, but freshman girls still crushed on me when I taught at university as a grad student. I would have thought they were just flirting for grades, but they were always the nerdy, hot type that already earned good grades. One called me doctor, I told her that I didn't have a PhD. She called me professor. I told her that I was just an instructor, and she asked if she could call me professor anyhow. She asked if I liked to get a drink. Told her to ask again when the class was over if she was serious. She was. She called me professor. It was a really good score for a guy who looks like a catcher's mitt. He banged her.
Oh,
He banged her because they're old enough. You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
It's actually kind of scary too, because at the very end of high school, them girls are old enough too, you know? And I happen to know that some niggas were getting some sloppy toppy from some of these loose hoes in fucking high school. It was really a freaking shame. And the funny thing was, we went to a high school where a lot of the teachers were frighteningly intellectual. Do you know what I mean? Some of the teachers were so smart that after a couple of class, like, we were really smart kids too, right? But like deceptively smart, to the point where it was like we had to often seek reasons as to why we needed to be there, when many of us could get our work done without showing up to class a day. Do you know what I mean? But some of these teachers were so amazing that the best explanation, the best way to describe them would be to say, nigga, you could be doing anything. Why are you at high school? You could be doing anything. You could be anywhere doing anything. You could be overseas. You know what I mean? You could have a hall, a lecture hall. What are you doing at this dumbass school? And that's where they chose to be. And they were probably getting some pussy, baby.
Wait, you mean from the high school girls there?
Yeah, from the legal high school girls. No big deal. Law, not breaky, you know. Not breaky law. What's a year's difference anyway? Anyway, so listen, fucking number 3, studied abroad in China. I'm a white male. Was teaching English to Chinese middle schoolers, and then one girl come up and she said, "Oh, I like your bing bong down there. I hope you like to see my special fried in the bathroom." That's not funny, Kyle. Come on. I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Do you know that song?
No.
Aww. You don't know that song? Some of the music from back in the day was so fucking hilarious because it was like a lot of people were in some kind of competition to make the craziest and most retarded song. Music videos from back in the day were the YouTube videos of their life. I come from a land down under, and I would walk 500 miles and we can dance if we want to. So, oh my god. Fucking songs. I remember watching some music videos one day and just going, is this humanity? Is this what we got going on? Aliens come down here and they go, people of Earth, and then they just like they go, sir, I picked this up on one of their broadcasts, and they looking at it like, what the fuck? Let's get on it. Oh my god. Studied abroad in China. Yeah, let's get through this.
You finished the post before.
Yeah, no, I didn't finish it though. Studied abroad in China. I'm a white male. Was teaching English to Chinese middle schoolers. None of them knew I spoke any Chinese. Most of the girls, why you have to say it like that? Most of the girls in my class constantly and inexplicably talked about taking me to KFC every class throughout several weeks of class. I guess KFC was a popular destination for Chinese kids, so on the last day I let them take me to KFC, like 14 middle school girls and I. They even bought me a collectible mug that I still have 18 years later that has a cartoon Colonel Sanders and says in Chinese, "I make the best chicken." It was actually a fun time, and I still think of it fondly every rare time I eat at KFC. What's going on with this story? What the fuck was that?
Chinese girls really like KFC.
Dude, you expected some kind of resolution to this anecdote, like I came to find out that the Chinese girls believed blank of Americans, and that's why they took me to KFC, or that maybe maybe they heard that most American men would do whatever they wanted with them if they took them to KFC or something like that. The story just ends right there with the bing bong.
Well, your
Somebody said this ended much nicer than I expected. Listen to me. If this doesn't end with somebody almost fucking a kid, then we came in here for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? That's what this list is about. Attractive teachers of Reddit. Did you know which student had a crush on you? And what is the strangest or most inappropriate thing that you overheard them say to you? What you come into this list for is to hear the teacher go, "You better get out of here with all that bullshit." And they all like, "Look, I suck that dick though." Or some shit like that. And then you're like, "You get out of here. You get out of here, you little kid." And then you crack the teacher's, like wand that you point at the boy pointer. You crack it on the desk, and they're all like, and they get out of there like they're like a piggy, like penguin hybrid.
I think we reached the stop where we reached the point where we need to stop for your own health. It seems like you're just coming apart from the seams.
What? Look, number 5. I'm probably too late to this, but a year 10 boy got suspended for taking and sending Snapchat photos of my ass whenever I was helping a student in front of him. It was another boy who showed me and said he wasn't happy with me being disrespected, which was nice. Yeah, right. Did you take the other boy to dinner? Somebody who was raised well, the students who showed you, that is. I'm sure part of the other...
I think he was blackmailing him not to tell
Shut up.
Yep.
Look, somebody who was raised well, the student who showed you, that is. Somebody else said, I'm sure a part of the other kid was also raised well. No?
I get it.
Bing bong.
It's not funny.
It's funny to... How dare you? What's funny to Stripes? What's funny to Stripes? Let's hear it.
I thought that was the whole
Stripes,
game.
go through your dumb feed right now and find us some Stripes-tastic stuff to tell us. That's how we'll end the stream, with a Stripes-tastic fact. I
sent you a picture of my sister that I drew.
Why are you drawing pictures of your sister? How's that Stripes-tastic? Stripes, find something that's up your bing bong. Oh, that's such a charming picture of your sister, though.
Thank you.
I really like that you're drawing of her. Draw you now.
Man, okay.
Yeah.
We'll look sloppy as fuck.
No, draw it like the girl you were drawing the other day that I told you not to color in her bra, but then you colored the bra dark anyway.
We'll do that.
Okay. I feel like we've been doing this a while. And I should wrap it up. I love you guys. Let's wrap it up.
I thought you wanted a Twitter thing.
Not in this video.
I get it.
Oh my god, here's a good one. Before my breast reduction, I was a timid teacher's assistant with 34 H boobs at a high school. Oh, yes. 34 H? I wish I could Google that right now. Are you kidding me? Woo-wee! It's getting hot in here. Oh, bing bong. 34H, mercy. I got my rag I'm dabbing on my head notch, huh? Whoa, just gotta lean back and forth in my rocking chair thinking about them 34H titties. Boy, those titties spread as far as the eye can see there, nah? I would say to my friend, I'd paint her white picket fence for free if she'd allow me just to gander upon one of those huge titties. Before my breast reduction, I was a timid TA with 34H boobs at a high school. Surprisingly, it was girls I heard most of the comments from. Guys mostly just stared. Anyways, the worst and certainly the weirdest was when I was watching over a homeroom and pretended not to hear a group of girls talk about a rumor that I had let several male students tit fuck me one after another. And because my boobs were so big, I guess the cum pooled in my cleavage in the end, and I sucked it all out with a straw. Yeah, more than anything, I was amused by how they thought tit fucking worked. How big is 34H? Is that like back pain big?
It must be.
Why did she make throwaway boobs? Aww.
Look, 34 is like smaller than. I would imagine her shoulders aren't that big.
Of course she made a throwaway to talk about her fucking boobs so we can't get a real Ask Reddit account, bitch. Why would she make a throwaway boob account? Because she knows that people like Kyle are on the prowl.
I thought this was gonna be a thing where just like timid high school girls that are confused about their sexuality had crushes on her, but it didn't go there.
Didn't go there? No, it did not. Didn't go there? No, it did not. I think we gotta end this list. Guys, I love you all for being here. I would keep this going, but it would reduce in quality the more time we already went. Plus, this video intends to stay up on the channel with the initial list being the main list that we were reading. So, to all the people that are in the stream chat, let me just address you guys very quickly. Rebecca says, I want Kyle to adopt me. I read that a while back. Excuse me, God. Fusion Gamer says, heavy rain is fucking up my internet. I must live on to see this stream. I'm sorry that it's raining. There's also a video game called Heavy Rain. Don't know if you guys have, shut up, Kyle.
Is that the one where you're like a detective?
Dude, Heavy Rain is a game that's more movie than a fucking game. You know, press A to watch the next scene. You know what
Is
I
it
mean?
the one with the guy yelling Sean?
Yeah, Sean! Rebecca says, Kyle, little kid fucking is what the NSA is getting. Well, how do you get to work for the NSA? You know what I always wonder is how the NSA has enough people to watch everyone, you know? Because obviously the people in the NSA that work in the NSA must be tracked by the NSA, right? So how do you track the people that are tracking? Don't you just end up needing an infinite amount of people, Stripes? You know? Are the people that work for the NSA somehow not being tracked by the NSA? You know? Who's watching the Watchers? That's a great episode of Star Trek.
Did I see that one?
Who watches the Watchers? It always comes back to Star Trek, huh?
You want a cushy government job that pays a lot, don't you?
I don't particularly need a cushy monkey ball. Boy, I like Next Generation Star Trek, boy. It's just so good. I'm the type of asshole that would probably like a Star Trek Next Generation box set. To be honest, I just want anything from Star Trek Next Generation. I was lucky enough to be gifted that, so hey, Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup. That's what's up. I like that. Anyway, Star Trek. Should I put down a monkey box? Well, we can do this later. I'm on the stream
I
with this
think
bullshit.
you should add more pajama pants to your wish list.
I really need underwear right now, hilariously. I'm gonna have to go out and get that.
I thought like a month ago someone bought you a big heavy set of those.
It was literally like 4.
I thought it was like 8.
You thought wrong, sister.
Did you already like tore through them? What do you do?
Did I already tore through them? Stripes. I'm a big man who lives a dangerous and flexible spy life. Okay? So I took these underwear and I took them through the paces, you know? You know, I'm a sexy man who lives a sexy life. Bing bong. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna tell me that you MacGyvered the fuck out of them, out of fishy situations that you find yourself in.
Remember this one list where we were talking about a guy who had like a pocket knife and he just cut off his underwear and left him, and he kept doing that? That was a great one. It was the list where people were talking about how they shit their pants, and he was like, how could I count the times how I've shit my pants? Oh my god. I want to find that right now. That's how we'll end the list.
I don't know which list it was.
I don't know what the name of it was.
Me either.
I'm gonna type adult, and I'm gonna look for the past month.
Wait, did you do a whole list of just people telling stories about shitting themselves?
Yes. You weren't there for that?
I think I was. I must have been. That sounds like
People
something
who have
stupid
shit themselves in their adult life. What happened? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see here.
I could really go for a Coke.
Here it is. So let's read it as a family. How have I shit myself as an adult? Let me count the ways. Why do you have to do that accent? Come on, Kyle. How have I shit myself as an adult? Let me count the ways. Once, I leaned too far forward to take the parking brake off in my truck. Shit myself. Waddled into a gas station and cut my underwear off with a pocket knife. Left them in the trash can. At work, in my office, was taking a pee and trusted a fart that I shouldn't have. Cut my underwear off in the stall and just walked straight out of work to my vehicle and left. It was not the best day to wear gray pants. Driving down the interstate, couldn't make it to the exit, started shitting myself, so I pulled over and made a run to the tree line and finished my shit while holding on to a tree. Had to cut my underwear off and use them as toilet paper because in my haste, I didn't grab napkins. I went camping once at 3 a.m. I was awoken by my body actively trying to shit itself. Climbed out of my sleeping bag, ran to the closest tree while shitting myself, cut my underwear up to use as toilet paper because I ran away. I didn't grab any. Walked back to the camp naked, only wearing boots. It was 16 degrees. Moral of the story, kids, always carry a pocket knife, because you never know when you'll have to cut your underwear off at a gas station. Wow. It's like a pocket knife commercial.
Is there a pocket knife on your wish list? Is that a duck?
Is
No,
that
that's a
cat gonna
cat.
get that thing for the other cat?
Why is it upset?
Because it wants that thing. It's like crying. It wants some bullshit that's up there.
Oh,
That's so cute. That's so cute. It gets it for the other cat. And then it literally hands it straight to it. That's adorable.
I didn't know cats had kinship. I figured it was all about them.
Well, they got kids too, Stripes. They got kids too. With that, guys, I love you to death. And that's the stream for now. What's this one? People have shit themselves. I did that one. So guys, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Good night. I feel wrong leaving, you know?
Why? You want like a big bang to leave on, or?
I don't know. What would it be? What would a big bang be? Guys, just leave a comment in the stream chat. Let me know what you'd like. And I'll try to honor what you like. And that'll be my reward to having to leave so many of you here. I apologize. I love you. And I'll stream again soon. Take it easy.